Welcome, everybody, to the Cool JDM Show. I am Derek. Well done.
I am Mike Dennis.
Did I sound like that? Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I wanted to give you enough of a tail end to let you know that it's going to be you saying your own name instead of me this time. We also got Max Scheffler. And we've got the rest of the staff on in the office here doing office things. We are in the back room of the PCA Japan headquarters, world headquarters.
Live from Japan.
Which is also the front room at the same time because the door is right next to it.
So if any visitor wants to come visit us and surprise us during a show, you can probably come on camera.
Yeah.
I'd like to see somebody try that. We also have bodyguards. Max, you guys don't know it, but he is ripped. He's going to mess you up.
And he's very good at nut shots. So
I'm learning new things about myself every time we stream.
Yeah, you come through that door.
So, as you saw on the thumbnail, today's episode is going to be all about Skylines. We are also going to talk more about Skylines.
Because it's episode 34.
Yeah, actually, Max told me that yesterday, and we were like, oh, let's do a Skyline episode with only several hours.
We planned this
prep.
because we didn't put the poll up, and we knew the episode 34 was coming up.
Right. Okay, so the USA is looking to put cheaters into punishment. I was going to say into jail, but they didn't actually say that. But tax cheaters are going to be punished. Then we're going to talk more about R34s and then some auction picks. I'm realizing now how many spelling mistakes that I've got on this because I just kind of...
Nobody needs to know.
And then we've got your questions at the end. So we've got questions for us, for Derek Weldon, Mike Dennis, or Maximilian Scheffler, or anyone else. You want questions for Grant, you're going to get the right answer instead of what we say if you ask him a question.
Oh, yeah.
But he doesn't have a mic. We don't trust him with a mic yet.
Yeah. It will be relayed through mic to the mic.
Pretty much.
Right.
The mic.
Yeah.
But we can set him up with a mic. We just need to get one with a really long cord, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if we can do that. I think people in the chat would probably like to hear what Grant has to say firsthand instead of him shouting from the back of the office.
What if every now and then he just like turns the mic on and he's like, "That's wrong, Derek."
That's okay. I don't mind being wrong. As long as somebody corrects me. I don't want to be the person spreading the misinformation.
Oh, your cup has been noticed.
Was that a Christmas cup already, Derek?
Oh, actually, I don't know. It's a Starbucks cup. I guess it's a Christmas one, but we do the Christmas Starbucks cups year round in my house.
All right.
It is always Christmas there.
Perfect.
Yeah. We also have a little update on my wife's situation, too, a little bit later.
Oh.
She might be watching this episode. My daughter this morning was like, hey, why don't you and I watch the episode together? I didn't even go to my daughter and say, hey, convince your mom to watch the show. It was all natural, which is good. I still don't think it worked. If you are watching, Ayako, let us know in the comments section. I know she won't, though. Stay tuned. I know she won't let us know because she's got a username on YouTube that she finds very embarrassing. And I don't think it's that embarrassing, but she thinks if she ever were to make a comment, people would be like, oh my God, you picked such a stupid screen name.
What if she was like busy commenting, forgot about that, and then you mentioned that, she's like, that's right, never mind.
delete.
Yeah.
She can give a heart on the live stream.
Yeah, but the heart on the live stream, you can still see who it is.
No,
can't you?
You can't. It's just the heart popping up.
All right.
Anyway, let's jump right in.
Okay, so the first order of business is mentioning the segment, which is industry topics. And news?
Industry talk.
I don't know what it's called. I don't know. Naming the segments to me is I don't know. It's good, but I never remember what they're called. So this is a me problem.
You want it's on reverb, and then that becomes reverb.
And it is live. We can't fix this, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had mentioned earlier in the show, which was only 2 minutes ago, that we're going to be talking about Skylines, and you're going to get a lot of information about the Skylines here. You think you know a lot about the R34 Skyline? You don't know everything. And this is from
something we don't know, add it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's lots of stuff.
That will be a comprehensive R34.
I had to cut down a bunch of stuff off of this because it was getting a little bit overwhelming. But
don't forget the prices, because this is what people are here for. Maybe.
Right. We tracked all of our prices from the beginning of this company. for a whole bunch of different models, and I picked out some interesting information from that to let you know. We've got some price graphs of how much the Skylines have gotten more expensive.
You prepared graphs?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep, it's an Excel graph. You get the data, and then you press graph, and it makes you a graph.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Oh.
Actually, it was a little bit more difficult than I thought, because I haven't done a graph since university, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is, like Max said, our 34th episode, hence R34. So this topic is just on the R34 Skylines, not the 33 or the 32 or the C10 or any of the other Skylines.
Right.
Okay, so a little bit of history on the R34. Number one, and I would argue this, it is the most iconic car from Japan. Possibly. What do you guys think?
Within a specific age group, yes.
If you just say, like, if you keep that as a broad claim, it is the most, what was that? Iconic car from Japan.
For people like us, that's an easy sell, right? But how about people who are like, oh my God, I love the Prius. I love fuel economy.
Yeah.
That person probably doesn't ever even heard of this car. It was never sold in markets outside of Japan, except for maybe a little bit in New Zealand and Australia. I think there were a few models that sold brand new as specialty imports or something.
And then I think for motorsport, people probably think, I don't know, maybe the R32 holds precedent there.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like, it depends what...
32, 33, and 34 are basically all the same category in many people's minds. They all share the same engine. They share the same chassis. They just look differently, and they're basically evolutions of one another, more like the Impreza or the Lancer evolution, I would think.
I would say for car guys, it's the R34. Like the car guy group, the R34 is kind of like the JDM car.
My take is that it's the R32 in Japan and the R34 outside of Japan.
Aha.
I think the R32, just how different it was from everything else on the market when it came out, made a huge splash. And it sold like crazy because it was the end of the bubble era.
Yeah.
Actually, it came out like basically the year the bubble burst. Hence why people still had enough money to buy them. Because as we'll see later, they didn't sell too many of the R34s in comparison. They sold more R32 GTRs than they sold R34s in total.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So this, the R34 is the 10th generation of Skyline. You think of cars like the Celica, it didn't even get to 10 generations before it was canceled. I think it was the 9th generation or the 8th generation that they canceled it at. So 10 generations, and people don't realize that the Skyline hasn't always been a Nissan. Did you guys both know that?
Mm-hmm.
What was it before? This is a pop quiz.
Only when I got to Japan did I know
What was the name of the Skyline before it was a Nissan Skyline? We're looking at you, Max, because it sounds like Mike already knows this.
Prince?
Right. A Prince Skyline.
Prince.
The first two generations were the Prince Skyline, and then Prince and Nissan merged and became just Nissan, I guess. And then the third generation and on were Nissan Skylines. They decided to keep the name.
Yeah. I didn't realize Japan had these, like, Japan-only kind of brands like Prince and the Toyo Pet and those like specialty stores.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had no idea until I saw one, and then I had to research it. But very cool.
Right.
Yeah.
That one with the angry eyes, the blue one, in the top right corner.
Bad face.
To me, that's a really dumb-looking car.
Yeah.
Hence why Prince went out of business.
No.
They're like, let's make angry cars. And somebody in finance was like, there's no market for angry cars. Not yet.
Yeah. It's too soon.
Yeah.
Okay, so talking now more about the R34, the history, we're done talking about that. They were only made, did you guys know, for 3 years, sort of.
The Princes?
No, the R34s.
Oh,
99 to 2002?
It's 99 to 2002, but it's 3 years and 3 years. And so the GTR didn't come until the second year in, which was common for the GTRs. They would always have the GT come out and then the GTR come out the following year.
So that the buyers could salivate a little bit and get their pocketbooks ready.
I suppose so.
I mean, same with Porsche, right? You get the new 911, and 2 to 3 years later, you get the GT3, and then 1 or 2 years later, you get the GT3 RS.
But you know that they're planning for the GTR well ahead of that, so they probably were pretty much ready to go at that time. The GTTs were sold from 98 to 2001. GTRs were sold from 99 to 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are there any of the special versions that went after 2002?
There was a Z tune, and I've got some. The M spec was 2002.
Okay.
Yeah, and by that time, it was already the second year of the V35 Skylines.
Wow. So
when you could buy a R34 GTR M spec, it was 2002, and you could buy the V35s from September of 1990. No, 2000. September of 2000.
When you say V35,
that's the Skyline that looks stupid, that has the VQ engine in it.
Oh, I see.
The next generation after the RB powered inline 6-cylinder ones.
Right.
It doesn't look that stupid.
I didn't know
just
there was the overlap.
Yeah, that's weird, right?
Yeah, that is weird. They're like,
GTRs?
would you like this Skyline? Super badass, awesome, cool. Would you like this Skyline?
Yeah. Do you want the good one, or the good but old one, or the bad but new one?
Yes, that was the Infiniti G35, right?
That's right.
Correct.
And that happened with basically every generation for like 1999. I'm sorry. When the R32 became the R33, you could still buy the GTRs for the 32 at the same year as the first year for the 33s.
Okay.
And then from the 33 to the 34, same thing happened.
Right.
You could buy the 33 GTR in 98.
99s as well.
98? I think 99, no, because it was January 99 when they came out, the very first month.
They wouldn't make two GTRs at the same time, I guess. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so of all the Skylines, obviously the GTR is the most iconic one of them. More information on what the GTR is in case you didn't know, but you probably know, so I suspect you can fast forward through that part. But of the 34, 64,000 units were sold, of which 11,578 of them were GTRs. That is by far the least amount of GTRs out of the 33, 32, and 34. 32, 33, 34. And so why do you think that is? The 34, what many people consider to be the most iconic one, they sold a fraction of. We're talking 20% of the amount of 32s.
I would probably bring the bubble burst back into the mix. People didn't have enough money. It was probably more expensive than the other ones.
Yep, I think the price went from what? How much were the 32 GTRs?
4 million, I believe.
I think a little bit more than 4 million
or something, like just over 4.
And then they became nearly 6 million only 10 years later.
Because the R33, I believe, was around 4.7 to 5 million or something when it came out. And that thing that I was reading recently, where the guy who was selling them brand new was like, the R33 is a really hard sell. People just want the 32s. The budget is around 4 million.
Going back to the bubble era, Max.
Yep.
Why do you think that the bubble era affected people's desire to buy the cars? Hold on. I'm sure there's a lot of people. We know about this. It's second nature when you live in Japan what the bubble era means, but people outside Japan might not understand what it is. So let's start with a little bit of a step back in time, what the bubble era was. And so this was... You guys know enough to explain this. Do you want me to?
You should explain.
You should explain. I don't want to explain half truths.
Yeah, me too.
Japan through the 70s and 80s and into the 90s was well ahead of the rest of the world in many aspects, especially computer chips and with their cars. There was a lot of global interest in investing in Japan because they were head and shoulders a bit above the competition in many ways. They were expected, and you can see this in lots of media in the 1980s, to surpass the USA as the world's biggest economy at this time. And then the rest of the world was like, hold on a second, we can't let the Japanese people take us over. So now we're going to, they made something called the Plaza Accord. Have you guys heard of that? And so this was basically kneecapping the Japanese economy. It was no longer allowing Japan to have as much control over their currency. And this caused the inflation because it was an asset bubble, basically. So everyone had so much money that they were investing in things like housing, and they were investing in companies and putting more money into the companies. Very similar to what people are doing to Tesla right now. Tesla as a company doesn't have the backing in order to have the stock price that they have at the moment, because price to earnings ratios should be somewhere around 10 to 20. But theirs is like 300. And so Japan was the same thing. At one point, the emperor's house in Tokyo was worth more as a land value and then all of California.
Yeah.
And so this asset bubble is going up based on the fact that more people were putting money into the economy. But then when the Plaza Accords came out and said, okay, Japan, well, you no longer have this competitive advantage of your currency to fight against everyone, and there were caps on the amount of exports and some other controls like that, which basically obliterated the competitive advantage. And then all of this money that were in the assets suddenly got pulled out all at the same time, and this crashed every segment in Japan, every sector. And so automotive and housing and manufacturing and chips and entertainment and Sony and every company just got flatlined. And since then, they've been in like the lost decade, which became the lost 2 decades, which then became the lost 3 decades. And there's been literally no inflation at all in Japan from the 90s until like basically COVID times. And so where Japan used to be the place where it's like, growing up, you would hear this, grapes are $30 in Japan. Can you believe it?
Right.
But now literally everything in Japan is cheaper than it is in the rest of the world because there has been no inflation.
Yeah.
It's been basically 0% for 30 years. And so when car companies in the 80s were riding that wave of all of the investment, they were able to make some of the best cars in the world. Hence
and some
why
of the weirdest
80s and 90s cars were so much better than everyone else. They definitely took that advantage. But then, and the GTR absolutely through like the mid 80s to the late 80s, and the bubble burst in like 89, 90-ish. So they had all of that R&D to push that car forward, and then the 32 came out, and it was still kind of riding that bubble wave, even though the bubble had crashed.
Yeah.
But then when the 33
spent,
came out, the 34 came out, like people weren't getting their $100,000 bonuses just for working a regular job here in Japan because money was abundant, and people got scared, so they started holding their money, not investing it in companies. This hurt the economy further, and you guys know that like here in Japan, people hold their money in their bank account. They're afraid to invest in real estate because you don't make any money. They're afraid to invest in companies because you don't make any money, right? So opposite of what you see around the world where people are like, oh, you have money in your bank account. Well, you're losing money because of inflation. You should need to be putting it into ETFs or something else, bonds.
Investing
Pokemon
somewhere.
cards. Skyline.
Or anything.
Bitcoin.
And so the GTR is a product of the bubble, and you can't really talk about the story of the GTR or the Skyline without understanding that Japan was in a place to put all this money into cars, even if it didn't get an expected, like this was, it was like a halo car to get people interested in the brand, which is something that most car makers don't do anymore because you can't.
Yeah.
You don't have the money for that unless you're Toyota, but they're tight asses. They don't.
They're interested in not in keeping their money.
Right, basically. So yes, the Skyline, a product of the bubble era, and something like that could possibly never happen again. I think we're at a point technologically in cars that we're not seeing this rapid advancement, especially in internal combustion engine cars. Electric cars are a different matter, and that's its own little bubble, but that's not a Skyline, and that's not what we're talking about today.
Yeah, I have a question about that, but it would probably be too off topic because you mentioned Tesla, right? And with the extreme amount of investment in Tesla, they would be in a position to do something similar, maybe.
I think that they were. I think the only reason Teslas were better than the competition is because of all of that investment that they got.
Yeah, everyone backed them, and then they were like, have ludicrous mode on your Model S or whatever.
Man, it's so sad that Teslas used to be so cool, and then all of a sudden Teslas are no longer cool. It was like a light switch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like for many people, they are still very cool. Like I would love to try driving a Model S, but I don't really have an intention to own one.
The marketing of the company is just tied to one person. If that one person is doing,
imagine if you retired.
Things.
Like the only reason the stock price is that high is because of the repeated. Anyways.
Yeah.
Off topic.
Right, that's what I was meaning. Yeah, I didn't want to go into it.
Right. And I'm not interested in electric cars all that much. I think that the industry is interesting, but I would not like to have one myself.
Right. So back to Skylines.
Okay, so the third generation of the RB engine version of the Skyline was the most cutting-edge version of it. It had things such as the twin-turbo engine, which in the 90s was a big thing. Toyota, I think, was first to market with a twin-turbo, the 1G engine. They were also second to market with the 1J engine. Then Mitsubishi did a twin-turbo, Nissan did a twin-turbo. Who else? Mazda did one with their RX-7. But still, the twin turbos was the big thing at the end of the 80s, early 90s. And so that at that time was super cutting edge. Nowadays, you see it pretty often. They had four-wheel steering, which happened first in the mid-80s, but four-wheel steering throughout the late 80s, early 90s was still pretty interesting. The Nissan version of it was computer controlled. And so depending on which speed that you were going, you would get different amounts of four-wheel steering. It had active four-wheel drive, the Atessa system, which is rear-wheel drive until it notices some slip and then changes into four-wheel drive. It was, by today's standards, it's fairly rudimentary, but it was still a very cool system. It has a gauge on the gauge cluster that shows you your percentage of torque that goes to the front wheels. So cool.
First time I was ever in a GTR, my friend pointed that out to me, and I was like, that is really awesome. You were in something special here.
The 34s and 33s had an adjustable rear wing from factory, so you could take out your Allen wrench and then set the amount of attack angle.
On the 34s and 33s?
33s for sure. 34s, yes, but only the tiny back flap.
Yeah.
It was a two-piece wing.
That is cool.
It had a multifunction display. Let's get a picture of this up for this part, which is the 34 GTR. And hopefully you can find one with a screen that still works. But when this came out, this is when people were playing Metal Gear Solid. And like there was this, oh my God, the future has all of this cool tech. And the internet was still fairly new. And they had this multifunction display that showed you all sorts of different settings. And so I got a list here of the things that you can put on it. It could show you your G-force.
You got to show the one with the green bars.
Yep.
And that's all real time too. It's like the refresh rate is, I don't know, 10 frames a second or something like that. So it's not super good, but look at that: boost, oil pressure, injector impedance, oil temp, water temp, exhaust temp.
Do you want to know something funny about this? I don't know if you know this, but they did this together with Polyphony and Sony.
Did they?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
It's a Gran Turismo-esque cooperation between the two.
Right.
I think it's mega cool.
I did not know that.
They also commonly break. So if you're in the market for an R34, I think they're like $1,000 to replace. They're probably more.
No, they're
now.
more than that. That was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
See if you can find the G meter, because that one was, oh my God, so cool. Again, updating only 10 frames a second or so.
Yeah.
But it would have a little dot in the middle of a graph.
There.
And then when you went around corners, it would show you in real time where your G's were.
Can you imagine you're like
trailing
line.
line.
You're like, wow, that's a really hard corner. You look over, you're like, yo, I'm pulling 2 G's, and then you're like, oh, I crashed.
Well, a typical car, and I don't know about the GTR, so it might be a little bit different, but of that era, an amazing car could pull 1G in the corners. And then if you upgraded to other tires, you'd get 1.2, 1.3 or something like that. But it goes all the way up to 10G. That's in case of an accident.
My 86 had a G meter in the little screen in the gauge cluster too. It was really fun to see because it records your last session and you get the little outline of what the maximum that you did at some point.
That is
1.9 Gs.
Well, a sustainable G-force that's good is 1G, but if you just like flick it, then it'll bounce up to like 1.9 quite easily. Yeah, how much can you keep traction at that G-force?
Yeah.
And 1 was the target. I remember when the Supra came out, this is when I was starting to get into magazines, and it's like it can pull 1G in the corners. And I was like, wow.
I don't know what that means.
That's like a fighter jet.
Cool. Yeah.
And the Skyline very commonly competes with the Toyota Supra Mark IV as the iconic Japanese car from the 90s. And I would like to say, personally, both of those cars are not as good as the NSX. But they are still very good. This is not a one is bad and the other thing is good. But the NSX to me is the best car to ever come out of Japan. The Skyline GTR, oh my God, it's good. And the Supra, the same thing. Supra's different. The NSX and the GTR are dramatic. And the Supra is fairly...
high class.
It's like a really understated, tough, strong guy where he's like insanely strong, but like he's quite reserved and like not gentle giant.
Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
He's strong and he'll throw you across the room, but he's always going to be composed.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not, but
yeah, that kind of like mentality though. Whereas the others are definitely more dramatic.
Who's the macho man Randy Savage?
Yeah.
That's definitely going to be the NSX, because when you rev that to 9,000 RPM, it sounds like, oh yeah. Cream of the crop. So the Skyline's probably one of the most frustrating cars to try to wrap your head around all of the different makes and models that they have. So I'm going to give you a little overview of it. Gotta do a pre-complaint about the chassis codes, because Nissan changed the way that they handle the chassis codes between the 33 and the 34. So some of that in just a sec. But the models that they had were the GT, which was a 2-liter non-turbo. Now this one came in 4-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive. The rear-wheel drive one sold for 2 million yen.
New.
Brand new price.
Brand new.
And the 4-wheel drive, the 4-wheel drive version came only with a 2.5-liter engine.
But it was still called the GT.
It was called the 25 GT.
Okay.
So there's the GT, which is always a 2-liter.
Yeah.
And then there's the 25 GT, which is a 2.5-liter. It got 200 horsepower, which was not bad. So 2-liter, 155 horsepower non-turbo. Not bad. 155 horsepower at that time was still fairly sporty for the lowest trim model. 155.
Yeah.
Think like my Corolla, which was not too far in the past. 115 and it was still considered sporty. The Miata 140 and it was considered sporty, right? So 155, heavier than a Miata, still going to be semi-sporty. Available in 2 and 4 doors. Okay, the 25 GT was a non-turbo 2.5-liter, 200 horsepower, 2-door, 4-door, always 2-wheel drive for that model. 2.4 million yen. So 4 million yen extra to get extra 500 cc.
Money well spent.
400,000 yen.
Right.
I'm sorry, 400,000 yen.
Money well spent back then, I think.
Next one up, if you wanted to go 4-wheel drive, was a 25 GT4. Basically the same as the 25 GT, but with 4-wheel drive. And then you're adding another 300,000 yen. So another $2,000 to get 4-wheel drive on that.
Another $2,000 to not go drifting.
Yeah.
I think that's the worst one to get, is the 4-wheel drive one. I think it's cool that Japan has a ton of 4-wheel drive cars that aren't available in other markets, like a Vitz 4-wheel drive or a BB 4-wheel drive or Skyline or Chaser 4-wheel drive. But they always come with a dumb engine.
Yeah.
And the 4-wheel drive systems are only pretend 4-wheel drive.
Altezza 2J 4-wheel drive, as we learned the other day, which I didn't know existed.
In that case, it does come with the better engine, though.
Yeah, it comes with a 2J 4-wheel drive. What?
All right.
Anyway,
what?
And then they're like, but you don't get a manual.
Yeah.
Okay, so the boring one's out of the way. The GTT, as it's called, is the turbo. Is basically a GT turbo. And that one was a 2.5-liter, 280 horsepower. 2-wheel drive, 4 doors or 2 doors, sold for 2.9 million yen.
See, I think the 4-wheel drive one, not really a good value proposition. I think the turbo, that's better.
Yeah, an extra $1,200 to get you a turbo
over the 4-wheel drive. But how about over the 2-wheel drive non-turbo 2.5-liter? 400,000 yen, right?
Yeah,
a bit more, 450. That's not too bad.
So they sold way more turbos than they did non-turbos, and for good reason. You get the turbo version. You don't have to be sad that you got the worst one,
right?
And you only have to pay $4,000 more.
Yeah, and then when you see the GTR price, you're like, that is a significant leap.
But the GTR is a significantly better car.
Sure, absolutely.
So GTRs,
it's premium everywhere, right? For this time.
The GTR is just the engine alone. It just feels way different.
Right.
The whole car just feels different.
We also got completely restyled bodywork as well. Like
fenders, like rear arches, completely different.
Yeah.
And you got the 4-wheel drive, and you got, in many cases, the VLSD.
Yeah.
So the GTRs, 2.6 liter engine instead of the 2.5. So then you got 280 horsepower. Officially 280 horsepower. I did some digging this morning and I found out that the official amount of horsepower when people dynoed their cars was probably around 320 to 330 horsepower.
Okay.
So probably an extra 40 to 50 horsepower over what was claimed at that time. And that was at the very end of what they consider the gentleman's agreement of 280 horsepower.
Because they realized everyone was cheating and putting
after
more
that
power
car,
anyway.
after that car, there was another gentleman's agreement at 500 horsepower, but then that just kind of went away after that. People were like, nah, like the German cars and the American cars have 700 horsepower, so we can do it too. Yeah, which makes sense. So yeah, officially 280 horsepower, and I would think that the GTT actually has 280 horsepower. Seems quite reasonable.
Probably
the GTRs. Yeah, 320 seems reasonable for that. Price difference, though, went from 2.9 to 5 million yen.
Yeah.
So an extra 2.1 million yen to get the GTR.
I think that's the jump where many people are like, I can't afford that.
That's the one I want,
but
I can't do that.
Yeah.
And this was in $1999 too.
Yeah.
Max, can you do a quick little look up to find out how much 5 million yen in 1999 would be today?
Similar.
Well, there wasn't a lot of inflation until recently, right?
Yeah.
There's been, I don't know, 10% in the last 3 years.
Yeah. But at the time, I'm also interested to know like how much were the 911s selling for, or some of the very low spec Ferraris. Or
when talking Japan, it's really weird because the cars in Japan don't have a lot of bearing on what they sold for in other markets. Like the 911 in the 80s was more expensive in Japan than anywhere else. But now the 911 is cheaper in Japan than anywhere else. Yeah. So you can't just look at exchange rates.
Yeah.
5.9 million yen in 1999 in 2025 are 6.7 million yen.
Wow. And then in US dollars, that's 40 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fun part
can't even get a Civic Type R for that money now. Aren't they like 50 in the US? I don't know US prices.
The fun part is it didn't really change until 2021. Yeah. All of the increase was just in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
So that's the no inflation in Japan.
So what Derek was saying was honest this time.
Yep.
Actually, can you do it a different way? Can you do it a different way? Find a historical exchange rate and then find out how much 5.7 million yen was in US dollars in...
that's tougher.
1999, and then go from US dollars then until now.
Yeah,
I think you'll get like over $100,000.
So was it 5.9 million yen?
Well, there are different versions. So 5 million yen for the lowest one, and over 6 million yen for the highest grade one.
Okay, just do the 5 million.
Yeah, I think 5 million yen in 1999 converted to US dollars, and then
they didn't sell a lot of those ones though. So that's just the GTR, and then there was the GTR V-Spec and the V-Spec 2 and the V-Spec Nürburgring and the N1 and the M-Spec and all these other more expensive ones.
Really went up.
The actual GTRs, they probably only sold like 10% of them as that model. Most of them were V-Spec 1s and 2s.
Okay.
So it actually would be cheaper.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So back then it would have been 45,500 US dollars. At the moment, 5 million yen are $33,000.
But it would be 5.7 million yen now. 5.7 to US dollars. Where was it? 5.7?
Oh, you're right. It was. I started from 5.7. Sorry, math is not mathing. So 5.7 back then was 51,000 US dollars.
5 million back then versus 5.7 now. I think you want to do that.
We did 5.7 to 6.9 now.
But the original price in 1999 was 5 million.
This is a live show, everybody. Watch the gears in our heads turn.
So we're gonna do this again. 5 million yen in 1999
is how much US dollars?
Would 45. Be 5.7 in 2025.
But in US dollars at that time? I think you said 45. I think you did that one, right? Yeah,
okay.
45.
Hold on. So now do 45,000 US dollars in 1999 compared to how much that would be now. Because that's the number that I'm looking for.
$45,000 at the moment would be 6.8 million yen.
Not yen. I want US dollars. So 45,000 US dollars in 1999 is how much US dollars now. Because because I think that will give you the more accurate price.
Cool JDM math show. This feels scripted. Okay. That's actually perfect.
Yeah, we definitely scripted out an argument on who can do the best math.
$87,000.
And then the GTRs now are $130,000 US dollars, right? 120,000, somewhere around there.
You know the math, but yeah. So.
No, I mean the brand new GTRs. If you were to buy one, they're somewhere around there.
I think even more.
So what a deal this car was.
Yeah.
This was a budget, but it wasn't like
it was budget price.
When it came out, nobody bought it because it was too expensive.
Yeah.
So it's weird to think that it was too expensive then, but if you convert it into US dollars, then run the inflation, it was only 90 grand.
Yeah.
Which by today's standard, like, what can you buy for 90 grand? You can't get a 911 for that. You can get maybe a Lexus GSF.
It was
RSF.
I guess this was the start where people realized that, hey, I can get a cool looking car from Japan and make it fast for cheap. And that's where the whole like JDM tuning thing
I think you hit the nail on the head there. Yeah. Japan was all about taking what is otherwise an economy car and making it into a sports car. We've got the 8.6, we got the Lance Revolution, the Impreza, the Skyline was a mid-grade car turned into a hypercar or supercar.
For many years now, it's solidified in my mind that these RX-7, Supra, Skyline, NSX, these were supercars without the supercar branding with normal car reliability.
Right.
And that's a massive selling point when you compare it with like a Ferrari F355 or something, right?
Oh, yeah.
You want to repair something, it's thousands and thousands of dollars versus
you want an oil change and you're pulling the engine out.
Right. Yeah. All of those complexities, and it's a fantastic value proposition until the prices skyrocketed where now these cars are $100,000, $200,000.
There are some good points in the chat though. GR Supra is around the same price point today. Like the 90 grand? 60 to 90 grand.
Okay. It's a fair comparison.
M3 is similarly priced.
And I believe that at that time, the 911s were around 10 million yen in Japan. And so they were significantly more expensive here. Because Euro cars were like much more expensive here. Those cars, the AMGs, Mercedes-Benz, were $250,000, $300,000 here.
Wow.
Well, at the same time, they were 100,000 euros.
Yeah.
So like you're paying an extra, 20 or 30% here in Japan during the 80s? Okay, the special models of the GTR and how much they cost. Just real quick here. So the regular GTR, they didn't sell very many, as I said. The GTR V-Spec came with, someone in the chat's going to say that I'm wrong about this, or it might be Grant. I believe that the V-Spec was the active LSD.
That's my understanding.
Which is an electronically controlled LSD for your rear differential, I believe. Mm-hmm. And the V-Spec also came with a...
It was like Aero, I think.
The four-wheel drive system was a little bit more advanced. I believe it was about 10 times faster response rate for the four-wheel drive system. And you got V-Spec badging.
Yes.
What else did the V-Spec have?
I think it was Aero. I know for the 33, it came with a slight Aero package, not major. It's like a front lip.
The front lip on the 33 had two different sizes, and one was late model, one was early model.
Maybe I'm getting it confused then.
If someone in the chat knows about the V-Spec difference, then let us know. The V-Spec 2, though, came with a carbon fiber hood.
Really?
I believe.
Painted. It was only the duct, I think, that they left unpainted.
And black seats instead of gray seats.
Ooh.
They had the same little polka dot pattern on them. It was awesome.
I do really like those seats, although I don't fit in them very well. My legs fall asleep after a while.
And there might be some other differences in there too. But like I said, most of them were the V-Spec. V-Spec 2s were quite a bit rarer. Most of them were V-Spec, and then the GTRs, and then the V-Spec 2s.
It was an extra $250,000, 250,000 yen, to get the V-Spec 2, and that seems a bit too much.
Check this out. 5 million yen for the GTR, 5.6 million yen for the V-Spec, 5.8 million yen for the V-Spec 2. And the most expensive of all the GTRs was the M-Spec, which is basically a V-Spec 2, but they put leather seats into it.
And you got special colors.
And it was 6.3 million yen. And yeah, there were special colors in a number of models of these. So
yeah.
Speaking of special colors, the Midnight Purple 3, which is a color shift paint, they had a version called the V-Spec 2 Midnight Purple 3. And they sold like 2,500 units of it. People think they're super rare. They're not that rare. 2,500 is quite a bit. See if we can pull up a picture of that one.
It's less rare than like Midnight Purple 2, isn't it? But it's
Midnight Purple 2 was only like 300 units or something like that. So they were very, very rare.
Yeah. But I think...
Oh, that picture. This one here, where you can really see the colors pop.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful paint, but if you ever, like, this is now a 30-year-old car, right?
Yeah, it's very weird.
You can't repaint that unless you repaint the whole thing, and then it doesn't look exactly like the Midnight Purple ones. So unless you got one of those 4,000 kilometer stuck in the garage kind of cars, maybe not the one for you.
I think the Omori factory will repaint it for you as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's not cheap. Like, it's tens of thousands of dollars, I think.
I'd like to know how much that is. Max, could you...
I think you have to call them.
Yeah,
they do a lot of custom work for
Are you sure ChatGPT doesn't know?
Well, maybe.
Speaking of ChatGPT, I asked it a simple question earlier. This was like the other day about Skylines, and I'm going to talk about it later, and I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
They were completely wrong about something.
Okay, I'm going to divert from that. What was the rarest ever color on the Skyline GTR?
The 34s?
Red or yellow?
There were a few that they only sold like 6 of. There's like a number of different silvers, and I think one of the silvers is really rare. They had a yellow one that was really rare. There was also, of course, the Millennium Jade was rare. The Midnight Purple 2 was pretty rare, like a couple hundreds.
I don't think... Was Midnight Purple 2 available for the R34?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but very, very uncommon.
Yeah.
That was the color from the R33. And it was fairly common on the 33.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think that video that we saw recently with the guy talking about the colors, it's like, just who cares about how rare the color is? It's like...
Unless you've got one of the super rare ones, right?
No, but even then they're like, it's the only R34 V-Spec made on the 3rd Sunday of June by...
You might as well be hanging out with Corvette people.
Yeah.
At that rate.
I get that there are rare colors, but...
Yellow is more rare, according to Nissan history. There were 684 reds made, opposed to 436 yellows.
Yeah.
Haha, I was right about something.
But there is a bunch of information. I think
sometimes I just gotta celebrate.
GTR Registry has a bunch of great information.
Right. And then there was a Nürburgring package, which unfortunately I don't know what it has. That one, again, the carbon fiber hood was one of the options. You got Nur badges on it. I think you got a couple of other things. Yeah.
They had the M-Spec Nur too.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think you can get the Nürburgring in M-Spec, V-Spec 2, and I think there's one more.
Yeah. You can start mixing and matching and making a...
Because Nissan need that money.
Yeah. They're like, spec it? Yeah, we spec it how you want. You going to pay?
This was right before Renault and Nissan merged. And Nissan was definitely right up next to bankruptcy at this point. So they were like, come on, someone please buy these GTRs. Which is funny to think now because everyone wants them for 150 grand.
Yeah.
But they just couldn't sell them back then.
Yeah.
This is the second time the GTR has done that too, because the GTR Ken Mary edition in the 70s, they only sold 200 of them or 187 of them before Nissan pulled the car completely because of the oil crisis. So Nissan's got a bad habit of making cool bitchin' cars and then going, oh shoot, nobody's buying this.
We can't sustain it.
Poor Nissan. They spent all of that money on motorsports too, and did that work for them? I mean, people think handsomely on the GTR. They consider it to be an iconic car, but it sure didn't help them when they were selling them as brand new cars.
The R35 though, that has done fantastically.
Has it? I mean, it didn't sell an awful lot.
I think they're all over.
How many did they sell? Of the 35s. I'm going to guess somewhere around 25,000.
But they've made them for
30,000 maybe.
No, and they're international too?
Oh, 48,000. That's more than I would have thought. But that's also over 15 years.
Right. Yeah.
So you're selling 3,000 to 4,000 per year, and even less than that in some years.
Relying on
Approximately.
AI. because this is
57 of
live.
them sold in 2022. 57. Yikes. Okay, little mini complaint because there are Skyline like a GTX and a GTV
Yeah, it
and
gets
a
very
GTX Turbo, and the X and the V is confusing. So people need to realize that there isn't really an X version or a V version. Those are just trim packages. And so I got Grant to go and study this before the show because I didn't have time. But the X and the V, X is enhanced interior and exterior packaging, and you can get it on several models. So the 25 non-turbo, 25 turbo, you can get it on both. The V is only on the 2.5 liter non-turbo, and it gets bigger wheels and bigger brakes from the turbo as well as an LSD.
The V is worth it. The X.
I mean, like, they had a lot of body kits for Skylines. I can think of like 6 or something different front bumpers, rear wing packages. Show us a picture of the Nismo back wing that is atrocious on the
don't like it at all.
GTT Nismo back wing.
The Nismo.
This is. I think this is the part we're gonna get started a flame war because.
Wait, I thought. Yeah. But Nismo to me is super hit and miss. Like their rear bumper for the 350, the most atrocious, ugly thing I've ever seen in my life. And you like it because you like atrocious, ugly things. Apparently,
this is probably
and this,
off, but
also atrocious. Like
I don't like it at all.
So you know what I've seen once is this wing, right? But the side pieces that attach to the fenders have been taken off, and it actually looked okay.
I was gonna say, it probably looks a lot better, right?
Because then it was just a pretty tall wing on the back. In fact, like taller than the GTR wing.
Yeah.
This one here has extended stays on it so that it's taller than it actually is from factory. You guys couldn't see what I was pointing to because I was using fingers.
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah. That one's a GTR wing with
it's just a knockoff
stands that are taller.
thing.
Oh, knockoff wing? Which are kind of popular here.
J-Sci Aero style.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. The weirdest wing for the R34.
Okay, so let's complain about chassis codes. There is an ER34, a BNR34, an HR34, an ENR34. And now previously, you could always tell which model that you're buying because the chassis code tells you what it is.
Right.
And so if you were looking at like an HNR32, you would know that this is a turbo 2.5 liter 4-door because the chassis code always told you what kind of car that it was.
Right.
And sure, they still tell you what kind of car, but they no longer have the turbos separated from the non-turbos in the chassis code.
Yep.
Which has been frustrating me to no end. You can get an ER34 turbo sedan, an ER34 non-turbo sedan, an ER32, 34 coupe turbo, and coupe non-turbo, and they're all the same chassis codes.
I think we figured out why Nissan went bankrupt.
Yeah, everyone got confused.
It was a change in the chassis codes. All the employees are like, well, I'm not working anymore. So I've figured it out, and it does make sense, but it is frustrating. So the B, the first letter, which is either a B, an E, or an H, is going to be the engine size, regardless whether it's a turbo or non-turbo. So the B is a 2.6 liter, like a BNR 34. The E, like ER, is 2.5 liter, turbo or non-turbo. And then the H is the 2000 cc, which, yes, they still made the 2 liter RB20 engines for the R34.
Right. And none of those designations are turbo or non-turbo, so...
Right.
It's just size.
And then the R means Skyline, which makes sense. All of them have the R there. And then the N is for four-wheel drive. So an ENR would be E, which is 2.5 liter, N four-wheel drive, and R, which would be the Skyline. So the BNR, B 2.6 liter, N four-wheel drive, because it's a GTR, and then R 34.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that the N was for four-wheel drive because, you know, it's always been BNR and then R33 BCNR.
Right, I was about to say.
Because they were like, let's throw a C in there. I heard somebody once on an online forum saying, yeah, Nissan was so embarrassed about the R33 that they couldn't even name it the same chassis code and had to put the C in there.
They weren't embarrassed. Like, that is a hater for an R33. The R33 performed better than the R32.
And the final version of...
like, oh, it's a wheel.
Nice.
They thought that the 33 was so cool that they put the C in there.
Boom.
BC.
Yeah.
B cool NR 33.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the final version of the 33 has pretty much the exact same everything as the 34. So they did upgrade it through the 3 generations of the 33, like early, middle, and late gen. So that's confusing and stupid. And then, of course, 34 is the generation. Now for prices.
Oh, this is the interesting.
I spent 2 hours tracking the prices of all of the R34s that we've sold.
Wait. I need to hype this up a little bit.
Do it.
If people are in their chairs and they're falling asleep a little bit, this could well be the most comprehensive price analysis of R34s ever.
That's selling it pretty high. There are absolutely holes in our data, though, because this is only cars that we sold. So we might not be buying the junk ones or the super good ones, or we might not sell too many of them in 1 year.
I just hyped them up. They were like, okay, I'm ready. And then, well, maybe I don't.
This is one of those places where data could tell lies. And I just want to make sure that we're not the ones telling lies.
Right.
But
mine was hype. This is truth.
We did some math, which was more comprehensive than the exchange rate math
that we did before.
ago.
Yeah. Maybe they don't trust us anymore.
And the number I put into the title of this show is not wrong, right?
What number did you put in?
1,069%.
Yeah, that number is completely true according to our statistics.
Which may or may not be made up.
It is absolutely not made up. And that number is actually quite accurate, because in the first year that we're measuring this off of, we sold tons of them. The first year that they were legal in Canada was at a certain date, and we sold a bunch of them. So we have a nice, strong number to compare them to now, which I use the actual auction prices, which has a lot of examples. Right. This should be an accurate number.
Yes.
So Sunny's asking, what's the start date? Is that from Canada legal?
Right.
Date,
so
or from company start date?
We didn't sell any Skylines until they became legal in Canada. I'm sorry, any R34 Skylines till they became legal in Canada, which was 15 years old, what year would that be?
2015?
2014.
2014.
Or 2013 if you were selling the non-GTRs.
Correct. Okay, so how many did we sell in 12 years?
Math.
I don't know.
109 R34s. Which is not a small amount. That's pretty decent, hey?
Yeah.
109 made. How many GTRs did we sell? This I found really interesting. So we've sold only 7 R34 GTRs. And every single one of the ones that we sold went to Canada. Not a single GTR went through our hands to the USA.
Yeah.
Which I've got a theory for why that happened. We also haven't sold any R34 GTRs in the last 6 years. Not a single one in the last 6 years. We sold a decent amount when they were first legal in Canada, but because of the price that they cost then, people were buying them. The price that they cost now, people aren't buying them.
Yeah.
So we talked recently about people buying from dealerships as opposed to buying from auctions. And we said most people should buy from auctions. Some people go ahead and buy from dealerships. Right? In case the car is hard to find at auction, or you need to buy the car really quickly or something like that. Yep. Or if you need more information about the car and it's really expensive. Yep. Like, sure, you can get a good on a GTR 30% less if you buy it from auction. 30% less is not a small amount. But it's also pretty scary to be dropping $150,000 on a car that you have an auction sheet as your grading for it. And so for plenty of people, I would think that extra 30% is just not worth it. Some people with that much money are going to be flying to Japan to see the car in person before buying it. And they'll be definitely okay with paying the extra for that assurance that they're not throwing their money away. GTR is known for rust being a problem on them, especially sneaky hidden rust that many auctions might be missing. It makes sense for this car, I would think.
I would also say this also contributes to why the prices have increased the amount they have. It is like the holy grail for many people of JDM. They're willing to dump bucket loads of money into them. That means the whole experience of coming to Japan, perhaps. YouTube has kind of made that popular of, I bought an R34 in Japan and I'm going to drive it in Japan and come along with me. And it's
companies
cool, right?
With big shiny warehouses where you can
who bought their
Liquid
cars at
green.
auction,
Yeah.
and then are now
2 years
reselling
before
them
they were
for-
legal for the USA.
Correct.
And
yeah.
then just held them there. And
Yeah.
they are the PlayStation 5 cretins of the automotive industry.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to start a flame war here. These shops that are well regarded
Mhm.
bought the cars and increased the price almost single-handedly.
Yeah.
There
was enough of
they
the
had
shops
bought
doing
50,
this, right?
60, 100, 200 of these cars, just stored them away so nobody could have them and reduced the supply just so they could make the money.
Mm-hmm.
It increased the price of the cars artificially, hence why they're so expensive. The GTRs, they are $150,000 now, even more, up to $500,000 for the top of the line ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Supras, on the other hand, very competitive car, sold for approximately the same amount when they were new cars, are only $50,000, a third of the price of GTRs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is insane.
For an equivalent car.
And-
in every respect, really.
And they're more reliable than the
Yeah.
GTRs. And they're arguably better built.
They're definitely
Although
better built.
I really think Toyota dropped the ball in the interior for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels like they should have done a better job.
Yeah, the interior is weird in the Supra.
I just want to throw it in because we're getting some questions in the chat that are vaguely related to the topic.
Let's do
so
it.
We
I would
love
do them on the Q&A at the end.
Oh,
you're gonna-
let's do it at the end. is what
Max
I-
wants that retention.
You'll have to stick
just
around.
so you guys know that we're not ignoring the chat because we have Q&A section in the end.
Max is taking a note of your questions that will be answered.
Yes.
The other reason why I don't think that we sell too many GTRs is that that's a lot of money to drop, and most people dropping $100,000, $150,000 in a car, they want financing instead.
Yes, yeah.
And buying from auction, you need the money in pocket before you go and buy it. So not a ton of people are like, I got $150,000 in my bank account, let's go shopping for a car,
Yeah.
right? It's more like, I'm okay paying $5,000 per month if I can get a GTR.
Right.
Sorry, that was a hard one to say. But yeah, how much do you think it would cost monthly for a $150,000 car? That's going to be a lot, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's not a new car where you go through dealer financing
Right.
and can...
Yeah, used car dealer financing is always more expensive than new car dealer financing. And with the interest rates currently at 5%,
Yeah.
or higher for unsecured loans like that.
And that gave rise to the shops in Japan who then opened USA branches or partnered with USA companies to, we will hold this stash of R34s in Japan, and as they're illegal, we will
drip feed them.
drip feed them pretty much to you. And yes.
Speculators.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to complain about that.
Moving right along.
Into the prices, which we hype people up.
Not
but then
quite
let
yet.
them-
Not
A
quite
little bit
yet.
more. Almost there.
Interesting thing. Okay, so non-turbos and turbos and automatics and manuals and all these different kinds. The cheapest version of the Skyline obviously was the non-turbo automatic versions.
Right.
Those were by far the most popular ones that we've sold.
Yep.
When they were first legal in Canada, we didn't sell any of them because the turbo Skylines were dirt cheap at that moment.
Right. There wasn't.
And then when Skylines boosted up in price, though, everyone's like, I need a Skyline. I don't have all that money for a Skyline, so let's get the cheapest possible one, which is the only one I can afford. Yeah. And the amount that we sold boosted up to a crazy 42% of all the Skylines that we've sold.
As
now,
opposed to like before that boost, it was probably like 5? Not even?
Not
maybe?
even. Yeah, it was like
Zero?
close to zero. Nobody wanted those ones.
Wow.
And I suspect that Nissan only sold like 5% of theirs as the non-turbo automatics, because why would you? It's only
right. It wasn't that much more to get the better ones.
$2,000 more for the turbo, $3,000 more for the turbo. And then 25% of the ones that we sold were turbo manuals. That's the next biggest group. The smallest one, of course, were the GTRs. And here's something interesting. From 2013 to 2021, this is before they were U.S. legal, we sold an average of 4 per year. And then since they were U.S. legal, we've been selling an average of 21 per year. So the U.S. market absolutely is the only place that's buying them, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunny let us know 100k personal loan is at 7% for 60 months is 1,984. That's more than his mortgage.
Oh.
Ow, that is, yeah.
So, and 60, well, nobody's doing it for 60 months. They're going to be doing it for like 84 months. Because a 5-year loan, they can't afford it, right? They'll go for the 7 or 8 or 9 or 10-year loan.
For a car
that is 25 years old and won't last that long.
That you saw in a movie and thought was cool.
I mean, it is cool, right?
Yeah.
As car guys, we have to bite the bullet and understand that the style and the street presence of the car is what you're paying for when it's a classic car.
I'm a sucker for this too. Every time I see a R34, I'm like, oh, I wish I had one.
Or an 8.6. Yeah. When I see the 8.6s on the road, I get giddy.
Hang on. Immediate reaction, like your visceral reaction to seeing an R34 on the road. Because I think I have a different one to you guys. But like, what's your first thought? The very first thing that crossed your mind?
This looks so sick. I want one.
Right. I might be a little bit tainted because I feel like to some extent I've been here in Japan for quite some time and I feel like I've seen it all, and I've seen over 100 Skylines.
Yeah.
I'm just like, cool, a Skyline. Don't see that every day. And then I go on with my day.
Oh. My immediate reaction when I see an R34 GTR is, what are you doing? Park it away. It's worth too much money now. Like, you shouldn't be out driving.
Oh, it's so sad, isn't it?
It is. And
No. Here's the thing. A lot of these GTRs have unknown mileage because the person a long time ago changed the gauge set from 180 kilometers an hour, the regulated max, to 320 kilometers an hour gauge sets, right?
Yeah.
They don't know the mileage.
No.
Go ahead and drive your GTRs.
Sure.
Or engine has been rebuilt like 5 times already.
To a 2.8 liter stroker kit with the V-cam. One of the only engines I know that the aftermarket has made a variable valve timing kit for it. Right?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else. The only thing cooler than that is the L series Nissan engines that Getrag? No. OS Geeken made a twin cam head for it.
Whoa.
It's a non-twin cam car, and they made a twin cam head.
Someone there was like, I really got to have this.
And like 7 or 10 people could buy them because it was a very limited thing. But changing a single cam into a twin cam in the aftermarket is the only thing that's cooler.
Yeah.
And it was Nissan as well. Oh, I'm so sad.
Yeah.
So sad that Nissan isn't as cool as they used to be. I mean, they're still in business, which is great for them, I guess.
It worked. But at what cost?
Right. Okay, so talking prices, and of course we're going to talk about the GTRs first. We've been talking about them being worth $150,000. Technically, I checked the prices, it's 15 million yen, which is more like 110 or 120,000.
At auction.
On auction
average.
cost.
Right.
Not retail price.
Yeah.
So, right, somewhere around 110,000 US dollars. Now, the price of the average one that we bought, which was in 2015, when they became legal, was 4 million yen. And we were buying darn good condition ones. You can get them for 2 million to 2.5 if you went for a skimpy one. But a pretty decent one for 4 million yen in 2015 is a 366% increase in 10 years.
Yep.
And so in other words, that's a 36 year-over-year % increase on your asset. Now your car
are unheard of,
on your asset.
That's why GTRs are stonks.
Yeah,
but
that's a very valid point. The GTRs could get more expensive because of their stunk profile.
Yeah.
The thing is, though,
time to go
you just
all
said 366% for the GTRs, but the title says 1,069%.
How do we get there?
What happened?
Okay, so if you were an investor with a time machine and you can go back in time, do not go and buy the GTRs. You could make way, way, way more money by buying the GTTs.
Which I didn't think that was the case. I thought the GTR is the big one. Of course, that will make the most profit.
We've got a graph for this one.
So
right?
I'm going to show that now.
And this is every turbo manual one that we've bought. Okay? Can they see it?
Yep.
So you can see that it is.
There's
Look
a
at this graph.
This is insane. So in 2015, the same time as you were getting the 4 million yen GTRs, you were getting GTTs for 342,000 yen. And this is a...
they were free.
Right.
They were pretty much free.
342,000 yen.
Yep.
You were getting 33s at that time for 250, 220.
The GTSTs? Oh,
the
man.
turbo ones. I bought my first car in Japan, a Skyline, an Impul version, 300 horsepower, wide body kit Skyline from factory. 270,000 yen for it.
Yeah. Yes, please.
I wish I bought Skylines instead of being in school.
Yeah.
And then that car, that Skyline, if you bought it in 2015 for 342,000, it would be worth 4 million yen now. Manual turbo version of the Skyline, which is a 1,069% increase, or year over year, nearly 90%, 89% increase in your money. This is
Bonkers.
Bitcoin level profits. Well, not really, actually. Bitcoin's insane.
But
Tesla.
I mean, like, if you're talking about returns on an investment for your car, that is unheard of. For your car to almost double in price?
Almost double in price. Yeah. Like every year, your car. Well, I mean, look at the graph from 2013 to 2018.
Right.
The car didn't boost in price, but then.
But where you end up.
As soon as they became U.S. legal, boing.
Yeah. Boner alert.
Right. Basically, look at those long boing bars.
Yeah.
Each one of those is a Skyline owner with a boner.
I think it is fun to people are writing in chat like, I'm part of this graph, and there will be people who are watching who bought an R34, and you are part of the graph.
We sold plenty of them, so we are part of.
It's pretty cool.
The speculation problem. Actually, most people who were buying these were not buying them for speculation.
Right.
Which is great, because you bought a car, you got to enjoy it, you're not a dickhead, and you bought the right car.
Yeah.
For it to go up in value.
I think a lot of the people who were looking to speculate, possibly, we can't really help because they wanted long-term storage. These were people who were contacting us a year, 2, 3 years out from the R34 GTRs being legal, and we don't offer long-term storage. There are too many risks. We don't feel like it's worth it.
The only car it was worth it for was this one.
Right. Yeah.
GTT.
Yeah, but I mean, can you imagine one of these being damaged in whatever facility we were storing them at? And the amount of outrage after someone has been waiting 2 years and they're on the last year before it becomes illegal and something happens. Yeah.
Right. Now, it looks like at the end of the graph that the prices are softening from 2023 on. I think the prices are going down just a little bit in the last year or 2 years, but I don't know if that's the end of the prices going up. There have been the new U.S. tariffs. There was a shipping issue with shipping to the U.S. in 2023 that caused a lot of dealer buyers to go out of business. This has hurt the export market to the USA, and hence, if it's only U.S. buyers that are buying these, that could soften the price. There is a chance that these could continue going up in price, but they're also at the time in their life where they get harder to buy. Back 5 years ago, they were a lot easier to buy as 25-year-old cars once they're 30, 35 years old. Yeah. Now this is an ancient car. And Nissan, bless their souls, I love Nissan, they don't make super duper high quality cars.
And that's one of the questions that was in the chat that might be good to put that in here. Over those years, how did the grading and the condition of those cars change from what you've seen?
Yeah, I think it goes for most cars are about the same. Once they reach 15 years old, we start to see a fall in conditions. Once they reach 25 years old, maybe only about 20% of them are what I would consider good conditions. And then the more esteemed that the car is, the more likely it is to have more in good conditions. Like take R32 GTRs, for example. These cars were owned by owners that cared about them deeply because they loved their cars, and most of them were taking better care of them than your average car.
And they were a very important car for like Japanese history too, right? Like you see your country triumphing in these race events, and you're able to pluck a piece of history and
drive it around.
Yeah.
Grant and I went out driving 3 weeks ago or something in the mountains, and I saw an R32 GTR, and it just put a huge smile on my face. And 10 years ago, it wouldn't have done the same thing. But like someone actually going to the mountains, driving their R32, and it was just lowered on wheels, no aero kits or anything. And it's just like I don't know how long you've owned that car for, but you're experiencing like top level life driving that car because they're just that good. Cars these days, like, don't get me wrong, they're faster, but they're not as fun as they used to be. And the GTR was kind of the end of that. After that, the cars got boring. They got faster and they got boring. And it's really sad. I'm sad now.
That's okay.
Next graph. And we only have 2 graphs because I felt like the data wasn't strong enough to really show proper relations in it for some of the other ones that I made. But this one here is for the automatic transmission turbo models. And you can see that prices for the automatic turbos.
Wait, why we got so many 2014, 17, 18, 18, 20, 21, 22, 22, 22, 23, 23, 23, 23, 23, 23, 23, 23, 23, 23, 23. Sorry, I got caught.
Each bar represents one vehicle purchase.
Oh, I see. Okay. Understood.
Someone in 2023 spent over 5 million yen on an auto.
Right. And I think
it must have been like 12 kilometers or something. And this is one of the things with our data is it doesn't take into consideration the mileage in any way.
Right.
And so therefore there will be outliers like that one and the one in 2024. So obviously these are less expensive, but it gives you a good understanding about what people are paying for the automatic versions of them, which honestly, I'm surprised at how much people are paying for the automatic ones. Because if I had a choice, I would pay more than double for a manual for almost any car.
But more than double, like we're talking 10 million yen. For non-GTR, maybe for a really nice,
right? And that's why the prices are so high. Everyone needs that Skyline. Give me that Skyline. I want to be the guy with the Skyline. If it's an auto and it's not fun, so what? I'm that guy.
I think it's also I might transmission swap it later.
Yeah,
and then it's like okay,
and sure. And there is a whole micro industry doing that here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all I got with prices for them. The GTRs, I might as well say the prices of the GTRs that we sold. Oh no, I don't have that here. Okay, so I'll make up the prices, but they'll be semi-accurate. We
didn't want to
say the exact prices because it's giving away, but this is also 10 years later.
I know, but these are cars that customers have bought and maybe still own, maybe have sold, who knows. But
so of the 7 cars, they were like 2.5 million, 3.3 million, 3.7 million. The highest price one was a 5.2 million, which was utterly gorgeous. And to think of those prices.
Yeah.
To think of those prices makes you shed a tear.
Yeah, you want that time machine.
To buy a GTT, right?
To buy a GTT,
money.
And then put it into a storage and speculate on it because we care more about money than people enjoying these cars.
Gosh.
That was irony, by the way, everyone.
Yeah. Not a real view.
Okay, so things people are wrong about with Skylines. Let's hurt some people's feelings. I only wrote down 3 of them. People in the chat, if you know things that you're wrong about for Skylines, stop it, Max. I talk about what I want.
I pointed at the clock. We have lots of questions today, by the way. So
okay, we also have a skimpy show otherwise.
Yeah. Skimpy.
So if you have some comment about the GTR and you had a question about it or something you think lots of people are wrong about, I'd like to hear. And if you guys have the same thing.
Hot takes on R34 GTRs.
Yeah, what's your hot take?
Because the GTR is a lightning rod for opinions. Everyone's got an opinion about the GTR, and there are so many wrong people, in my opinion. And you need to learn that you're wrong about opinions so you can change them so that you can stop being the wrong idiot. Okay? This isn't pointed at you, Mike or Max.
We got over 30 viewers in here. So what is your hot take on an R34? I reckon is saying fact, it is still a Nissan.
Facts. It was when Nissan was a better company, though. And it's better than every other car. When it really is. The NSX is the only Japanese car that's better. Civic Type R is worse than a GTR, but it's also really close in my opinion.
Can you mute his microphone? He's talking nonsense.
Hey. Okay, wait, so I got 3 hot takes, and I'll roll through them. Okay. Number 1, the non-GTR Skylines are grocery getters.
That was me for many years. I was like, GTT, don't care about it. If it's not a GTR, it doesn't classify.
Mm-hmm.
This was very old. This was young and impressionable, Mike.
To me, 4 doors are the grandpa cars. The amount of grandpas.
Says the guy with a 4-door grandpa car.
No, 4-door Skyline. The amount of old people I see in 4-door Skylines is surprisingly high in Japan.
Because they couldn't afford Celsius.
And they always have the same like head on, like the
same head.
Hat.
Oh,
Max just seen the same dude a bunch of times. Lives close to him.
Has like 20 different colored
Yeah, just got different hats.
R34s.
Sorry, I was messing with you.
We got browse snacks. I think the Stagia should be more related to the Skyline as a hot take.
Should be more
Wait.
related.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk on that.
Yeah,
but
you go through
on the
your hot
grocery
takes.
getter thing, the Skyline was always a sports sedan. Sports sedan,
Yep.
sports coupe, Grand Tourer, and with the turbo engine, absolutely top 5 Japanese sports cars.
Fair.
That's
Hot
a
take.
little hot.
Is it a hot take?
Top 10.
Warm take.
That's, next one, the Stagia. Here's the thing. People call the Stagia a Skyline station wagon, but it's not. It is not very sporty to drive, even with a turbo engine. It is heavier. It has the weight up higher because of the extra windows that it has. It has a floppier chassis by far. And it's not super duper fast. They did come with a 280 horsepower engine, but boy, oh boy, it doesn't feel like it in a Stagia. And the steering. They got a different steering rack that's no longer sporty, just like the Legacy that you own.
I was just about
and
to say.
the slow ratio steering takes a lot of the sporty feeling away from a car because suddenly you're going like this everywhere.
Yeah. I think it's like trying to say a Legacy is an STI. And they're just not. They're
still good.
Right. You get the powertrain maybe minus something, and then you get a lot of the sportiness just doesn't come through. Still fantastic. I'm a huge lover of the Legacy and Stagia, but they're not.
But you want a turbo station wagon. Number 1 is the Crown. Number 2 is the Legacy. Number 3 is the Galant. That's a hot take. Number 4 is the Stagia.
Spicy.
The Caldena's in there somewhere. The Caldena let me down, though. They looked stupid when they were good, and they looked awesome when they didn't have manual transmission anymore. Next hot take, GTR needs a rebuild at 125,000 kilometers. I have heard this so many times, especially 10 or 15 years ago. It's like GTRs are hypercars, so they need rebuilds just like a Ferrari. Said almost everyone on the internet back then, and it is totally not true. We have reported on non-engine rebuilt cars with over 200,000 kilometers, 250,000 kilometers. They still run pretty good. The only thing is the coil packs are a little bit weak. Change them. Your engine should be good. There's nothing about the GTR that makes it exotic other than the fact that it's turbo. Turbos are fairly reliable. And the fact that it has ITBs, and ITBs don't break really. So they are just a reliable engine.
Hot take. I like it. That was more of a rebuttal to a hot take, right?
These are things people are wrong about.
Right.
Yeah.
Hot take on the wrong about.
Okay, last
The
thing.
GTR will get you girlfriends.
Hot
GTRs.
take.
The GTR is a bad handling car. This is another one that a lot of people say. They're like, oh, the GTR was technologically advanced, but it's a bad handling car. On a racetrack, it wouldn't be very good. That is flat out wrong. The GTR went racing and it dominated. Absolutely dominated everything. And especially compared to their efforts beforehand with the R31. The R31, sorry, cool car, not
cool
very
car.
fast on a race car track.
Yeah.
The GTR came out and suddenly everyone's like, wow, well, let's start researching four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Let's start researching twin turbo
Hot
engines.
take. The R34 GTR is the reason why cars nowadays don't feel as engaging anymore. Because it showed the world if you put more tech into it, you can be faster.
Oh, that's a good take.
That's
a good take because it goes against what everybody thinks. They're like, this Nissan Skyline is the best car, therefore it can't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
But if they're like, oh, let's computerize these things, and that's the way that the rest of the world continued to go. That was the springboard for what's to come. And then,
I think they doubled down on the GTR, the R35. Like they took it to the extreme, and then they again proved they were like, this is the way. Like,
it makes you faster.
How iconic would the R35 be if they decided to put a manual transmission in it?
But again, they could have and made it worse, but instead they were like, no, we'll just make it better.
Yeah,
it will just be better, and there isn't anything you can do about it.
the value proposition of the GTR to me is, this is the fastest car you can get out of Japan.
Right.
So then the successor to it also needs to fulfill that promise. And then if you go against the GT3 with a Doppelkupplungsgetriebe,
DSG.
Oh my
DSG,
gosh.
yeah, you need to
I know German.
Very
not
nice.
have a manual.
I mean,
I think
let
you're
it
right on
let
that.
it have both.
Oh, Rick and hot take, you don't need to be a good driver to drive a GTR.
The new GTR?
No, I think even the older ones with the...
I mean, this was even a point in Initial D.
When you
With the
drive the
R32.
GTRs, it feels very strange if you know how to drive. This is why a lot of people take the four-wheel steering out of their cars. There's a HICAS cancel system that takes the four-wheel steering out. It does feel really, really weird when you break traction, coming from an R33 owner previously. You get used to it, though. And I don't know, because I've never gotten into trouble with the car, and I've never taken a Skyline on a racetrack, so I'm never close to the limit, really, when I'm driving on the streets. So it's hard to say, but that's a good take.
Mm-hmm.
I do wonder about that. I know people have claimed that. I'd like to have my own personal experience on it, because I feel like a lot of people on the internet that talk about driving cars, they might have experience with 2 or 3 cars, not 1,200 cars, right? So they don't have enough basis of comparison to know what it's like compared to everything else that was on the market at that time.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, to get more clicks on the race videos, we need to get a GTR.
We will test this
man,
live.
if we got a GTR and went racing, we would get the clicks. Maybe only a little bit more.
We would
get the clicks.
We would get the
Extreme
clicks,
amount of
but
cost.
also the weird looks from the competition.
Yeah, why'd you guys bring this?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't have the money for that either.
Yeah.
I have a warm take on the R34.
Yeah.
Don't meet your heroes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think for the people that have experience with the R34s and know them, they are a bit of a letdown. That all being said, I have a video saved that is the single best sounding car video I have ever heard of all time, and it's an R34 GTR.
I think also your warm take, it depends on the experience of the previous, of the person that you're talking to. If it's somebody our age, you'll probably adore the GTR over other cars. But if you came up driving a car from 2010 or newer, and that was your basis of what a car is, the Skyline will feel so old to you, because it has a much worse chassis and it doesn't get its power right away and you have to wait for it. And there are a lot of things in cars.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry to the R34 and S15 lovers out there, but you get into an S15 or an R34 after getting into an S14 or an R33, and it's like, I can see where the cost cutting has happened. Everything just feels a little cheaper.
I feel like the Silvia is the perfect car for that.
Yeah.
The Silvia S12 to the S13 felt like a step down. To the 14s felt like a step down. To the 15 felt like a step down. Like they're becoming better cars, faster cars, more capable cars,
more
still
expensive.
really fun to drive, but especially the interior.
Yeah.
Each step. Nissan used to make great interiors in the 80s. And then it's like, how can we make this cheaper? Let's share parts with all these other cars. And you're like, I know that part. It comes from that car.
Yeah.
Or you touch the dashboard and it's like,
I think that was the very first thought that went through my head the first time getting into an R34 to drive it. Like I rented one, and granted, rental car's not in the best shape, but this is interior quality as opposed to like wear and tear and stuff.
Yeah,
and I was just like, for an R34 GTR, this is what you get.
But it's that interior is the exact same on the one that costs 2 million yen and the one that costs 6 million yen. So it's a 2 million yen interior.
But the screen.
Yeah, and you get a screen.
You get the screen
and a nicer steering wheel.
Yeah.
Okay, problems with the car. Common problems, I'll go through this quickly because it's not that interesting. Coil packs go bad on the GTRs and they make them run poorly. You can experience this with the feeling of the car. Night and day difference if you change them from bad coil packs. They get worse slowly so that you don't notice them getting worse. And then if you've got a friend with a GTR and his runs better, you'll be like, oh my God, this is different. Let's get coil packs. The next one, this rust on the suspension struts.
Yeah. Most known issue.
And most concerning, too.
And you probably have much more corrosion than you think that you have.
Yeah.
And then you have to remove and replace. You can't repair. General rust on the car, because they are a Nissan from the 90s. You're going to have rust.
Yeah.
And then LCD screens go bad, and they're expensive to replace, and they are one of the highlights of the cars when people sit in. Look at this.
Yeah.
It's graphics from 1999. It's cool.
I have seen people like retrofit a newer one. Like, I think it uses all the same sensors, and they're still probably pretty expensive to buy, but it modernizes things a bit. But
yeah.
And fits in the same place. So you don't...
Man, you know how we were talking about how the Beat got a new infotainment system like 7 or 10 years after it stopped being produced?
Yeah.
Nissan should do the same thing for this, but get Gran Turismo now to put their own.
Oh yeah, that would be
upgraded.
Like a GT5. Are they up to 5 or 7 now?
6. 7. 7 is
7?
this one. Yeah.
So says the guy who just played it this week.
Yeah.
And we already touched on this, but one of the problems with them is that they're a lot of money for the performance. And people think of it as this iconic performing car, but by today's standards, they're slow. Supercars now are basically no lower than 500 horsepower ever, and they're usually closer to 800.
But Derek, all of the R34s have 1,000 horsepower plus.
Oh, here's another hot take. The 1,000 horsepower Skylines suck to drive.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, they suck to drive. I would never in my life want to own one of those.
Boring, waiting. I'm going to die.
Not only boring. Like, if you look at the horsepower curves of them, you're in second gear flooring it, and for 6,000 RPM, you're getting 20 horsepower, 30 horsepower, 40 horsepower, 600 horsepower, 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
And then it's like, that was fun for the 3.2 seconds.
I broke every single law. I made an enormous amount of sound.
The way that it sounds when the boost comes in, it's like, wah! And really,
is that the driver reaction or the sound?
Second gear with 1,000 horsepower, you're going to be going 120 kilometers an hour at the end of it.
Yeah.
So you're not ever going to be boosting in third gear because you'll be at over 100 by the time that you even get your boost. So it's only a second gear car. Imagine having a car with 2 gears.
It's an automatic.
And then literally you get like 0.8 of a second of full throttle once the boost comes in, because it's between 7,000 and 8,200 RPM or something like that.
I just wanted to point out, Derek drove one with over 1,000 horsepower, so this is just not...
Oh, I've driven several.
Several, right?
With anywhere from 700 to 1,000 horsepower. And Supras too. And Supras are a little bit better, because they get more power down low than the GTR engines do. But they have the same problem, and then Supras are rear-wheel drive, so you're losing the rear end as soon as the boost comes in.
They start dancing.
I don't know why people do that. I care more about numbers and other people's perception of me than my own driving pleasure. These aren't car lovers. These are ego-driven idiots. Sorry if anyone in the chat has a 1,000 horsepower car.
Just a small caveat. I think technology has come a long way now, and they are more usable. But I think the premise is still the same. Modern
cars don't give you all the power until.
Oh, no.
later.
I mean like newly modified R34s, the shops that specialize them and have fine-tuned them. But you're talking
T88.
Yeah, you're talking tons and tons of money, and the stress on the parts, they don't last for that long. I don't think. You don't build the car once, you build it every 6 months or something. I don't know. Anyone who's more familiar with the tuning can say, but
I would like to try a newly tuned version of 1,000 horsepower to see how it's different. You'd really have to go to Australia, because they're the cutting edge of the RV tuning. Yeah, for sure. So somebody who's watching this who has access to a 1,000 horsepower car in Australia, you can pay for me and Mike to come to Australia and visit the car, and then we will take back our hot take.
Yeah, but until then,
if it's a good car,
or you pay for me for the flight too, and we make sick videos.
Oh, Max just wants to drive the horsepower.
Pretty much.
Max absolutely punches above his weight in making the videos.
That's true.
So even though our videos don't get very many views, it's because we haven't been noticed yet.
We'll get there.
We're the person working at the cafeteria in California trying to become a model or
we're hot baristas?
Yeah.
We are hot baristas. Okay.
Yep.
I thought so. Oh, Max is the hot barista,
Little talk about the Z-Tune because everybody wants to know about the Z-Tune. Nissan in 2003, after the Nissan GTR went out of production, they started buying back V-Spec 2s, restoring them, and then turning them into what is known as the Z-Tune, which is the ultimate version of the R34 GTR, made by Omori Factory, which is only half an hour away from where we are.
Yeah.
They built these cars and they sold them for... Do you know how much they originally sold them for?
No.
It's
11 million? 11?
Let me check to make sure I got it right. 17 million yen.
That is
So
very
over
expensive.
10 million yen more, $80,000 more than the original price of the Skylines.
Yeah.
They sold only 19 of them. Do you know how much they're worth now?
Oh, that was the $1 million one, right? The Z-Tune.
Well,
$2 million.
Well, that's not confirmed.
1.5 million to 2 million. There has been one that sold for $1,995,000.
Was that the Thailand one?
I don't know.
Not confirmed, I don't think.
Really?
The last one I saw went through auction in Hong Kong, and then I think there was another one that sold after that, but I don't know. And then there was a Thailand one that the owner said he will not reveal how much he sold it for.
I believe in 2020 there was one sold that I read about this morning, but I
think that was
don't
the
know
Hong
if...
Kong one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was $500,000 back then.
In 2022?
Think if that's the HongOng one, yeah, it was.
No, not the same. I don't think it's the same one.
Maybe me don't.
I know the price was $1,995,000.
Auction?
It's a car nobody's
private
selling.
Yeah,
right?
that's why you can't
Only 19
put a price
made. The
tag
people
on
who
them.
own them know that no one else can get them, so they name the price. So if someone sold one for $500,000, they would be regretting that. Just
that
go,
was back then,
go
right? Before
to Saudi Arabia
big graph.
and then just be like, I got a Z-Tune anywhere because everyone there's really rich, right?
Yeah.
And they'd be like holding up money for your car.
Yeah, I'll give you a plane.
The Z-Tune is a 2.8 liter engine. They had 500 horsepower, but again, this was their gentleman's agreement, and they probably had 550 because Nissan do it that way. They had a different look. They were all painted the same color in this silver color. They had vents on the fenders and vent on the hood, and
All the wide fenders and the
fenders were the same.
Those.
No.
No, they had the
rear ones?
sharp fenders
Yeah,
by the window.
the fenders were different, but the extension of the actual fender near the tire was the same shape, right?
Okay.
They just had like little vents at the corners that were like triangular.
And you can buy all of those parts from the Omori factory. I don't know if you still can. I'm pretty sure you still can.
Yeah, we were.
They're very
probably
expensive.
Mm.
They had them all like on the wall.
We've sold a number of GTRs with the kits on them that weren't real Z-Tunes.
Yeah.
Very cool looking.
Tons of knockoff too.
Right. And that's pretty much it that I got.
Want to know a fun fact?
Yeah.
There's a crazy dude in Australia who bought a Z-Tune and then got it shipped to the Omori factory and repainted in Midnight Purple.
Mm-hmm.
I think Midnight Purple 3. And it's the only Midnight Purple 3 Z-Tune.
Really?
Because he got it repainted there.
Wow.
But
Imagine
the
the
cost.
factory just saying, no, this is not how we envisioned this to be.
I could see them
Maybe,
doing that.
yeah.
Yeah, but also that guy was probably like,
I think
How
he was
much?
like, I think he was like, here's that. And they're like, how about twice that?
If you've got a
And it's like,
Z-Tune
fine.
already, then you're probably in the top 1% of incomes in the world.
yeah.
Who in Australia is making that much money?
I think it's a famous guy who's known for his GTRs. I think he's got YouTube videos and stuff about it too.
Wow.
I think they
Incredible.
actually have a GTR shop, or maybe they buy and sell GTRs and have been doing for a very
Even if you
long
buy and
time.
sell GTRs, where are you getting $1 million for a car?
Speculating, man.
Oh
All you
yeah,
have
he
to do
bought all the
is keep 2 of them.
GTTs 10 years ago.
He's like, oh no, they're onto me.
Do we want to skip directly to car picks and do them really quick and then do questions and answers?
Oh wow, we
Yeah.
talked about Skylines for too long.
Yeah.
Not too long. You could never talk about Skylines for too long. The two other topics we could talk about later. Car picks, yeah.
Car picks?
Sure.
Car picks. This time with me.
You want to talk about them?
No.
I
do want to talk about one thing because a customer sent
yeah.
this to us. And this car is the funniest thing that has ever come up at auction.
I agree.
Unfortunately, it has sold.
Did it actually sell?
It did actually sell.
Perfect.
So we don't have all the pictures, but this is the history. And this is, guys, this is no joke. This is the car that they sold at auction. It's got the full auction sheet. It's the little like EV Ford Raptor thing.
It looks like
oh
a
my
troll.
god, it's sold for a lot of money.
106,000 yen.
106,000 yen is so much for what is otherwise a Power Wheels.
And
that's weird.
It had extra pictures, and they actually have a little. You can't see it here, but I think this is the
I don't believe that these were sold in Japan. We found them previously. They were brand new, 370 something euros. So basically, what, 700,000 yen?
No.
No.
70,000 yen.
70,000 yen. So
someone made $300 by importing one.
There's a little mirror on this side of the lane. And in the other pictures, you can see the guy with his phone taking extra pictures of the thing and the interior and stuff. It's also, I think it's really cute that they censored the license plate here, even though it just says Raptor on it.
As a gag, this has got to be like the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, it's so teeny.
Yeah, and the fact that the auction was like, all right, yeah,
we'll take that.
We can do that.
We can sell that.
Yeah.
I wonder if we...
Look, it's got a VIN number.
It's uninspected too.
That's a VIN number.
Grade 99.
Wow. So how far do you think that the auction will allow this? Like if we send in like a toy car or something that has an electric engine, do you think they wouldn't do it, right?
Car?
This would be a funny ass video. We tried to sell an electric
the auction whom we rely on to make a living. We want to piss them off.
Yeah. Okay, that was
good news. It worked.
We're
banned from the auctions.
But we have this really sick
video that gets 15 views.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the fun part. Let's do real picks.
What do we got?
Picks.
First one.
And I haven't checked out any of these, so these are all a surprise to me.
Would this be shipped by paddleboard? Yes. So
we've sold a number of these, probably somewhere in the 20s. Not so many recently because Renaults are mechanically difficult.
All right.
Just like Nissans.
And when we were selling these, this was 15 years ago.
This is infinitely more difficult.
They were difficult to run back then. The engines would surge a lot, like what the 1J engines do. Rum, 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 rum. Yeah. Or they just wouldn't start. So it's a turbo. It came in 2.5 liter for this, enlarged the size to 3 liter later on. Rear engine, probably the final rear engine cars. Nobody...
Porsche.
Oh, right. I keep forgetting about all of those cars that are rear engine that are not Porsche. The final non-Porsche rear engine car. And they are incredibly cool.
I like this window styling a lot. It's so unique.
It is cool.
It also has like 15-inch wheels on it, and the front of it is so low, it's down at like knee height.
Wow. They look a lot bigger, like they look Corrado sized.
No, this is smaller than a Corrado.
Wow.
Much lower than a Corrado too. And it actually has a decent amount of space inside because it's only a 2-seater. And then the seats are only like that far from the ground. Perfect. So you sit like way down in it.
That.
But also...
even 15 years ago, a lot of them were like that. And the dashboards are way worse than Nissan dashboards.
Yeah. And this is like... Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think this is like the comparison, right? You compare something like this, which is a niche. I don't know. This was never a supercar, but...
No, they considered this a supercar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that compared to an R32 GTR,
Came out the same time.
Yeah.
I guess like technologically it would have been pretty similar. Turbo V6 was pretty cool back then, right?
And we knock the R30, like these old 25, 30 now years old cars, and they held together so much better than these old...
Anything from Europe. Sorry, Max.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, he came from Europe and he held together pretty well.
For now.
Yeah.
What year were you born, Max?
95.
95? So somebody was driving around this car for 7 years before you were born.
Mm-hmm.
Going, look at my cool Renault. Yeah. The pearl paint on this also was pretty cutting edge. 1988 wasn't all about the pearl paint so much yet.
Okay. Next car?
Yeah.
Whoa, what?
Oh, keep in mind that every one of these cars is, if you buy it, Max will do you a very cool video report.
Especially if someone buys
Video.
this.
What do you call that?
That is
Video.
so cool.
How can I upsell that as like a
It's a
glamour
right-hand
video?
drive, eh?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a special model of the Elise, or
Really?
Elise. Yeah, the 111S. I know it's a special model. I don't remember what it has in it, though.
Would you be willing to
2003, I believe that these were not yet Toyota engined. I think this was a Rover engined version, 1.8, making it worse. But the 111S had something special, and I can't remember what it was.
Somebody's got to know.
I could be absolutely wrong about that. I'm trying to think. They had a number of special models of these.
I mean, the Arrow is pretty sick.
Yeah, the Arrow is very aggressive.
And then there's no bumpers on these cars, right? The front clamshell is one piece.
Yeah.
So if you want a crazy bumper like that, you also have to get the whole front end replaced.
Love those wheels.
For
Yeah,
racing GTV?
Are they?
I'm not sure.
They look phenomenal.
I find that people aren't putting good enough wheels on the Elise.
Yeah. I think a lot of them, like, they keep the stock wheels, right? Because they
It's
come
pretty
with
common.
decent wheels.
Right, forged wheels from factory, I believe.
Yeah.
Only
I would totally rock
22,000
this.
kilometers on it. So someone bought this, made for driving, and then didn't drive it.
Well, I didn't drive mine when I had one, right? I
Yeah.
drove mine in 3 years, 3,600 kilometers. So basically 1,000 kilometers a year. And like 60% of that was one trip down to Osaka.
Yep. Cool. Elise's, cool.
Very cool.
What
Buy
else
it,
we got?
get a sweet video of us driving in the mountains.
What a great
Or a
car,
race
though.
track. Your
A
choice.
car everyone should experience once in their life.
Yeah.
I'm sad I didn't get to experience more of it. I feel like
I
that you
know.
need like a day, at least a day with the car to like get into it and feel it. And
It took me longer than a day to really fall in love
for
with it.
sure, yeah. Like as long as you can get, but I guess then it's a car that you have to own, right? You can't rent it to experience. You have to own to
Own it.
We did that video on the Drives Japan channel, right?
Yeah, check it out. Drive Japan.
drive Japan.
Where all of you guys drove my car.
We
Yes.
did. Want to see our reactions? Like, subscribe, follow for more. Share it with your doctor.
What else we
and your
got?
pets.
This guy.
GTO. It's
Alright.
Mike's car.
It's broken. Look, there's
typical.
there's plastic on the windshield. What grade did it get? A D
3.5.
interior. Is that
No,
interior?
D exterior, C
Exterior.
interior. Corrosion on the underside.
No.
I didn't know if they're known for that. They are a Mitsubishi.
No. Yeah.
Power window doesn't work. And it says other electronics don't work.
Yeah. That sounds like a GTO, right?
I think they're referring to the door mirrors folding. I think that's what they mean.
Probably.
So this is the education
Seat is
part
ripped.
of the show.
Don't buy this one. You don't get a
ABS
report.
lamp is
We
on.
can't ship it.
Exhaust is
We
broken.
could make a really funny video though.
Driving it off a cliff?
Yes.
Mike
No,
remembers
parking
all
it
the
in
things
front
that
of Mike's
breaks.
house, and then he can have a broken GTR in front of his house, and he'll feel just like he was a teenager again.
Yeah.
Wait, how old were you when you had the broken GTR?
I think early 20s.
Okay.
Yep. GTOs look cool.
I still love these. I want one.
The pinnacle of
It's like, I
reliability.
know it's not going to be a good
Mitsubishi
thing.
wanted this to be the car that we talked about today.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
They wanted the GTO to be their version of the Skyline GTRs.
And it just wasn't. I mean, a V6 transverse mounted for starters. Just why not just use the 4G63?
Because
It
it
would've
was
been
a
better.
4-cylinder. How would you convince people that this is going
Yeah,
against the...
it's true.
Make it a 6G63 and
And back
make
then,
it inline 6.
like in the 80s, the amount of cylinders or the engine size was heavily leaned into
Yeah.
for marketing. So if you
Yeah.
tried to market a supercar as a 4-cylinder, like nowadays we've got the GR Corolla with a 3-cylinder, and people are like, "Give me that."
Yeah.
But back then they'd be like, "What? Really?
Yeah. No. Yeah, I'm getting the big one. I'm getting the men's version.
I think Mitsubishi was just too busy making air conditioning units.
And
It was
elevators.
a completely different business, though.
Yeah, which
I'm
they
just
then
kidding.
sold.
They sold all their businesses.
Greg said maybe with an LS swap. That I think would be the dream. I hear it
That could be
is
so cool.
almost impossible to do without. And nobody, like no shop is going to do it for you. I certainly am
There
not
are
capable
shops
of
that
doing
will
it.
put an LS into anything because there are
Yeah,
kits for all your wiring and electronics. You just are like,
There's
hey,
no space for an LS in this one. You have to tube frame. Yeah, and then it sits up too high, so I would be totally fine with it like coming through the hood
Cowl
or doing
hood.
like a shaker hood or something.
Tried one with the Transverse LS because there is one.
Transverse.
I don't know.
Transverse LS.
There's one person I know of on the internet
Oldsmobile
who's documented
Toronado.
it, and the TLDR of their documentation process for his LS GTO is I wouldn't recommend it, but I
Yeah.
still really want it. So if that guy,
That's cool. If
that
somebody
guy's
tried
cool.
it.
Yeah, I think he
All
did
right.
it. Like it works, but yes,
On
it took him
to
many
the-
years.
What's next?
Q&A.
Q&A. That's questions and answers with PCA staff live from Japan.
I just got to say one little thing because I told people I would talk about it, so I got to talk about it.
Yes, I completely missed it.
Okay, so I was, I just wanted to know what this is a very simple math question, right? I just wanted to know very quickly, what year is the R34 legal in the USA, right? You can absolutely do the math because they started in 1999 and then you just add 25 years onto that and that'll give you the year. But I was like, hey, Google, what year? Because, I was feeling lazy. AI, Google's Gemini, I think is what their AI is called, said the ER34 Skyline is not yet legal to import to the US for general road use.
Bear in mind, this was asked like a day or two ago.
As the first model from 1999 is still not 25 years old.
Interesting.
However, the first R34 GTR models, which are from 1999, are becoming eligible for import in 2024 under the 25-year rule. Now notice, they also got the ER34 it started in 98. They got the year wrong. They said 99.
This is because AI doesn't know.
AI doesn't know
Can only
2024
reference.
was in the past. Yeah, so they scoured the internet, found someone saying, oh, it's not legal yet,
Right.
from 8 years ago, and didn't do the math.
And was like, there you go. There's your answer.
Idiots.
AI. It's funny.
And one other thing, we are within a hair's distance of the Drives Japan channel, getting 4,000 hours of view time.
I thought we already got it.
No,
Shh.
Sorry.
the actual metric that
Is delayed 6 days.
is delayed 6 days. Yeah.
Okay, so
understand.
Mike let the cat out of the bag. We are at 4,000 hours.
Oh.
But the actual thing that makes us be able to get some of the ad money that YouTube should be giving us is not yet updated.
Which should be within the next day or so. So if you want to put us over the edge, which we already are over the edge, but we wanted to keep that a secret, but Mike,
Oh. Well, you
Kind
could
of-
have warned me. I was like, I don't know.
I don't care that much. Watch the Drives Japan channel. Put us over the edge. We're going to start making money.
Because we're not at 4,000 watch hours just yet.
But you know what?
But we're close.
The PCA
Very
channel.
Close.
The PCA channel gets 6,500 views per hours per month of view time, right? We make about $300 per month.
Oh, that's decent. It's not bad.
It's not nothing. But
I mean, it
like
doesn't pay for any
one
of the
video in
videos
Drives
that-
Japan is well over
Yeah.
$300 for us to make.
Yeah.
Like $500 or $1,000 to make one video. So we are very, very far away from being break even for that.
But it is cool, hopefully. That's why it's home for the cool JDM show. It's not on that channel. It's on this channel.
It's not.
Never mind. Never mind.
Okay, questions and answers.
Again, with the reverb.
All right.
We got one question by mail, which I thought was quite interesting.
Wait, by mail?
Yes.
Carry
Like
it.
post?
Email.
Oh.
Hey, if you guys want to do...
Oh, yeah, you're younger than us, and so mail just means email to you.
Yep.
Before there was email, Max, there was physical mail. You could write a letter by hand and send
I
it.
thought the physical thing was
Okay,
called
boomer.
invoice.
Hmm?
Because that's the only thing I get in the post box. I was kidding. It comes from John. He would like to know, knowing what you guys know now, if you lived in your native country, what car would you import and why?
Ooh.
There's so many. If I lived in my home country, I wouldn't own this business. So who knows how much money that I would have. But assuming I've got the same amount of money, EK9 Civic Type R.
I was this close to importing an R34 GTR before I came here. So
You idiot!
I could have made 336% of my money. No,
that was the car for you, though, the R34 GTR at that time.
I would have regretted it.
Really?
Because I don't like the R34 as much. Like, knowing what I know now.
You didn't want to meet your heroes.
Exactly. And I think for mine, either R33 GTR or something with a JZ.
Oh,
JZ.
Chasers is so good.
Yeah. I kind of want the A70 Supra with the 1J, but I feel like I would be let down by that too.
The 1J got much better when it went single turbo.
Yeah.
And I have driven those. They like I was saying, cars, more modern cars start to feel better, and the Supra was before that.
Yeah.
Not bad, but just generationally different from 10 years later.
I drove the 2-liter turbo and was thoroughly unimpressed. But
because that engine sucks.
Right. And they look fantastic, like with the wide body, that specific one for the A70 Supra.
I think that they do have a good look with the pop-up headlights and everything. Yeah, they were cool cars.
Yeah. Maybe a JZX 100. I don't know.
I don't know what I would do.
That Ford mini car.
Yes.
Let's import that from Japan.
Probably Alphard.
Alphard.
Like a good
solid choice.
Good quality car you can cruise on the Autobahn with and get to places, because I spent way too much time having my ears droned off by driving the 8.6 at like 220 kilometers an hour on the Autobahn.
I wonder how the Alphard would handle the Autobahn.
Yeah. I think it would be quite sick to have one there.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It looks super different.
The new Alphards look so good. And I gotta say, Toyota upped their paint game. The Alphard uses the same quality paint as the Lexus, and it is so good. And I gotta congratulate them, because I feel like a lot of automakers will skimp on paint, because when the car is new, it looks fine. Nobody really cares about the quality of the paint so much. But then after 5 or 8 years, it starts to go bad. Honda in particular, I'm looking at you. I love you, but your paint sucks. The paint on the Alphards, have a second look next time you see one of the brand new Alphards. It is very deep and very nice looking.
Cool. I mean, you're paying a lot of money for them, so you would hope that.
Yeah, how much do they cost? 8 million yen now?
Yep.
Yeah, something like that.
Next question comes from Zaid. What are the most annoying or inconvenient things that clients / customers tend to do? He said he wouldn't know.
What does Zaid do that's annoying, is what he's wondering.
All right, this segment is dedicated to
Zaid sent us a video with a cowboy hat on. That was Zaid, right?
Picture.
A picture with a cowboy hat on.
Multiple, I think.
That's not the annoying thing. Do more of that, please. Anyone who's listening, we want to see those cowboy hats.
Yes.
It's funny. But what is the most annoying, inconvenient things that clients do? I can sum that up pretty easily. I'm not the one that's doing sales, but I get to hear what you guys complain about. It's when we take a lot of time to educate you on something because you want to know that information, but then you don't put that into practice. Because it takes a lot of effort for us to explain something and take the care to hold your hand, not in like a physical way, but help you with something, only for it to feel like that effort was for nothing. If the people aren't going to actually like listen to it or remember it. And I get it, it is a difficult like process. There's a lot of things to learn. I mean, it's not that difficult, but there are things that you need to learn and you have to be careful about it. And for some people, they want more of a retail experience and they might not know what they're getting into. So there are caveats to this, but for the most part, if you get a nice long email, take the care to make sure that you're reading and understanding that instead of just skimming past it, because it is a lot of effort for us. And I think that it is good information that needs to be applied for your benefit. Now, coming from someone who actually works with the customers, what would you say?
I think that's a good one. And it's like, it's tough because we can see it from their perspective too. So we can see like the gap in knowledge between what the customer often has and what we have, because we do this is our job. Like many people who aren't full-time dealers who are buying cars as a hobby level or something, like we have collectively more experience than anyone could ever have. But so like, you know,
that's
you
big
have to
pants you're putting on us.
Well, no, you have to like we have to understand the gap there, and then when we're giving information, it has to be palatable, right? If you give them the end step before, I think not trusting us is a tough one too. Like
this one I absolutely agree, but I also understand that you can't just expect everybody to trust us, and people who are buying overseas are in their best position to always take everything that they hear with a grain of salt.
Sure.
It's just frustrating on our side because we know that we're being completely trustworthy. So when we're speaking as I'm going to help you, and then we receive back, I don't know if I should trust you. I mean, it's not that apparent, but you on our side, we get the feeling that people are sometimes not trusting us, even though it's in their best interest. And we're putting the effort into educating these people, and they're like,
Yeah. But what's the catch? And I'm like, no catch. Just.
But I will say, I'm that person too. When I deal with anyone, then I'm not trustworthy with them at all. This is a business decision, so.
I don't think there's anything that I get too irked by, and especially for
the Mac
people...
computers we have in the office.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I
Mac
think it's great.
No, worse.
I have never heard anyone complain so much about computers than this guy.
It's because I need to do things very quickly, and if the computer is the bottleneck, I get very frustrated.
But at the same time, computers are like that, whether it's a Mac or Windows computer. And if we were to change over to Windows computers, I bet you would have the same amount of problems. Yeah. And then you'd be like, oh, these damn Windows computers.
And I will say, for the people watching, a lot of you are repeat customers. You've been working with us for many years. A lot of that stuff doesn't even apply to you. It's this is a lot of like new customer questions that we get that can be a struggle.
Yeah. Next.
I kind of want to go into chat question and leave the other two for a different show.
Okay.
If
they might be watching right now, waiting for their question.
Okay. Derek,
They could be long, though. I think
please
that's
talk about the Toyota Pronard or Avalon in other markets. Just like general information and facts.
We don't get those. The Avalon isn't a model that we get here.
These are US models, right?
I think the Pronard was manufactured in Kentucky, but still sold in Japan.
Can you show me what it looks like? Pronard sounds very much like an insult from the 90s.
Yeah. Stop being a pro
I looked
now.
this up earlier, so I was quite confident.
I've never even heard of this.
Yeah,
So
go to the
here-
Wikipedia one. Okay.
This is the Japanese Wikipedia, and with
So it look from 2002 to 2004.
so it
Okay,
was
so
available in-
it's basically an upmarket Camry. People didn't buy them here. You don't see them on the roads.
Never. I've never seen this.
I would recommend getting a Crown instead.
Yeah. The Avalon
Excelsior.
is a decent car, but the Crown is an amazing car, and the JZX cars are amazing cars. So the Camry didn't even sell very well here.
Yeah.
So to have an upmarket version of the Camry that you spent way too much on because it had to be imported from the USA, no, it doesn't sound like...
I wouldn't bother importing one of these. Get something a little more special or
kind of
more
stupid
unique
looking too,
from Japan.
in my opinion.
The next question is kind of in the same general area.
A deep dive.
Deep dive on the second gen Toyota Caldina Ariel. I don't think we will do a deep dive.
I want one so bad.
Have you guys?
It's not a
seen
car
this
that you
before?
usually hear that from.
I feel like I might know this person. I understand they've been looking for one for a while, or maybe no, that was somebody else who ended up buying one.
And this is has a 3S GTE in it.
Okay, maybe it was different then.
So we
I'm
actually
right.
talked about the Caldina briefly earlier in the show, and then we said that the Caldina would like to fit into the hot wagons from Japan because it is a GT4, has a manual transmission, 3S turbo engine, 260 horsepower for this generation. So you would think it would be up there with the big boys, but I think the fact that it looks kind of stupid is the reason.
It does look very weird. I like the front, but the back is awkward.
I think it's oddly proportioned. And don't get me wrong, stupid looking cars, I say it as if it's a bad thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Quirky and weird looking cars, I adore, and a lot of people do as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to disparage the car, but I feel like if you're going to go sporty wagon, it needs to be a little bit sportier than that. And then the next generation, the 246 generation, amazing looking car, but then they dropped the manual transmission. And that one, I believe they went up to 280 horsepower for.
But without a manual,
Can we get a picture of that one?
What? Sorry, I was preparing the next step.
ST 246.
ST246.
Yeah, there you go. So Grant says he thinks that the 215s are cool looking. Like four-wheel drive turbo with a 5-speed manual would have been very cool in this, especially since they were called GT4s. So it carried on the Celica name when it was dropped.
Yeah.
And that hood scoop is from factory.
Awesome.
They're a little cheap feeling on the inside, but they were inexpensive cars, so that's fine.
But this or a Runks?
Well, it is similar to the Runks in looks, isn't it?
Yeah. And the Runks, you got manual.
I don't know which one I would take. That one over a Runks?
Okay. Because you like the wagons.
Also, the 3S engine has I have a warm place in my heart for the 3S engine. Oh, and the 1ZZ and 2ZZ, not so much. 2ZZ is fine engine as long as you're revving it to redline all the friggin' time, which is fun to do from time to time, but not every time that you go out.
I don't know. As a Honda owner, I'm getting used to it. Just every time you hit redline.
I don't have enough experience with the K20, so I can't speak from authority, but I believe that the K20 is a better engine than the 2Z at lower RPM.
Yeah, it seems fine. I haven't ever been like, this is a piece of crap. It's just like, it's fine, but at redline, it's more fine. It's very fine.
That's how I felt about the 8.6 engine and the B series engine, B16, B18 from Honda.
I want a
B16. Just because it's slow doesn't mean it's necessarily bad.
Yeah.
Chat questions.
Chat questions. This
Greg,
is you, the viewer. We answer live.
What is the least desirable R34?
The automatic non-turbo 2-liter.
There we go.
In the chat were saying no,
RB20D.
I don't think the R34 ever got the RB20E or a D, did it?
No, it's the 2 liters are single cam only.
2 liters a single cam.
Poopy.
Ew.
I knew that they had the single cam version of the RB20. I thought they dropped it by the R34, but
you can still get.
Don't get that one.
Such a bad engine. How does that engine get 155 horsepower out of 2 liters? You'd think it'd be 130.
Just get it for the lols. You open the hood at the car show and be like, "This is a single cam Skyline R34."
Although that engine in a Skyline wagon would be pretty cool. Single cams and 70s cars.
Next question comes from Top Runner 499. I have a question. If it can't be answered, I understand. I've seen brochures that say early 90s Explorers were imported into Japan, but I've never seen a picture of one.
Early 90s Explorers?
Yep. Are they really that rare?
They're rare now, but we've sold a number of them.
There you go.
USDM Explorers he's talking about? Ford Explorers?
Yeah, they were fairly popular here, and then they started to sell the Japanese market versions of them.
There's you can get like Explorers, Cadillacs, there
are some FJ Cruisers.
FJ Cruisers, yeah.
Very popular here.
Yeah. I think some of them were bought over by people who were stationed here in the military, and then they were sold here. I think also some were imported by dealers looking to. I think
there are niche businesses that find cars that would be palatable here that aren't sold here and just import them.
Yeah, and everyone in Chiba buys them. I don't know why, but Chiba seems to be the place that people are buying.
Well, they got space there.
Yeah, true.
Not like Tokyo. Cars. Oh, I've got a question for the chat. I watched the Forza Horizon
6.
Forza Horizon 6 trailer, and it's going to take place in Japan, and this is something people have been asking since Forza Horizon 3. They're like, please Japan, please Japan, please Japan. I saw the trailer. It didn't give very much away, so we don't have any gameplay trailer of it yet. But what do you think about Japan being on the Forza Horizon
It's either going to stop people from coming to Japan because they can have it at home, or more people come to Japan. I don't know. I'm pretty hyped.
I wonder how they're going to pull it off, because driving in Japan, it's not that good. Is there just going to be traffic on all the highways? No, I mean so they're going to have the highways, right? That'll be an interesting place. They're going to have the toge, of course. That'll be an interesting place. But then how are they going to pull off the rest of it? There are very few, if they want to make it feel like Japan, then it's got to be all very dense city with lots and lots and lots of streets to drive around. But if it's actually like Japan, it's going to be too tight to actually do any racing in.
No,
yeah,
I think
it's
what they do or have done in the past with the maps, it's they take real life locations and put them into a vision of the places. And what they said in the interviews so far is that you will have one place that is as close as they can get it to Tokyo. Of course, much smaller than in real life with
you'll
the
have
highways
20 streets or something instead of 9
well, they're
million.
pretty big. I think it's like the Forza Horizon 5 was like
it's a big map,
70 kilometers from end to end, which is huge. It takes you like half an hour to drive
the
across
density is I would say
I
you
think
get
most
10%
of the off-roading,
maybe?
what they said, you have off-roading in the games, right? So what they said is most of the off-roading stuff is going to happen around Mount Fuji.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough.
sense.
There's lots of like grassy, open space there. So city, Mount Fuji, tight mountain roads. I think that's kind of like the
Connect
three
the two,
things.
right?
I wonder if you'll be able to climb up Mount Fuji. Because in the Mexico one, you can climb to the tallest mountain on there. But Mount Fuji is also like 3 kilometers tall. So
someone is suggesting, Grego suggesting Forza Horizon PCA Car Club. Let's go. We should get an Xbox and play on stream.
I bought the Forza Horizon 5, the Mexico one, and I immediately lost interest in it. I found so many things in it I did not like. And the biggest problem is one I didn't hear anyone else complain about. I wanted to buy my damn 1970s Toyota Celica and make a rally car that you can actually compete in. And I'm not a spring chicken when it comes to racing games. I'm usually, top 5 or top 10% in online rankings and things like that. And when it comes to other Forza games, Gran Turismo, whatnot, I could not do it because there was a structural issue in the game that attached your platforms to your cars. So there are certain cars in the game, right? And each car has a kind of a suspension amount that you can get out of it. And if you wanted to make the car competitive, like they pick the cars that you're racing against based on your amount of points per car, but it doesn't calculate that amount of points properly, considering that certain cars can't jack up the suspension more than a certain amount. And then when you're going off-road, these bumps bottom out the car and completely slow down the car. So my cool as shit, that's the one swear word, my cool is...
You've said a number.
I
didn't make a big deal of that.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you said dickhead.
Dickhead's not a swear. And also,
Like,
I've said dickhead and the F word in episodes at the same time, and you wouldn't call me out then.
No, I don't like calling people out for swear words.
Anyways, I want my Celica, and I want to be able to do a race without getting friggin' last place.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a huge oversight because the whole thing is drive whatever car that you want.
Yeah.
And then you can't. You literally can't because the suspension bottoms out and there's nothing you can do about it. And then in order to be competitive with races, you had to do 4-wheel drive on these cars. And I don't want an old Celica with 4-wheel drive. It's not a Celica to me. It might as well be like a car made out of origami.
Gran Turismo is the one for you, right?
Yeah.
For racing. You want the realism and the...
Let's get back to the questions and do rapid fire because we're quite off track at the moment.
We're also 14 minutes past the extended version of the show.
Right.
Yes. So, what are some cars that are next generation Supras, GTRs, iX7s? Like ISF, GSF?
Corolla GR.
Corolla GR is
GR86
right now. GR86 is fantastic.
I'm looking forward to the next one with the partnership with Mazda because Mazda makes amazing chassis and it's going to likely be a 4-cylinder. I would hope so, at least. If they do a 3-cylinder turbo, I'd be a little sad on that. I want a naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder inline rear-wheel drive. And I'd like them to keep it around 1,000 kilograms. And I think they can because the new Roadster, like the Roadster of the previous generation, was around 1,000 kilograms and it had all of those things. So... very much looking forward to it. And Mazda doesn't get enough love. They're a great company.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, next
There's something
question.
special with Mazda. They always seem to...
Yeah, there's the
Pull it
fun
out of
still
the
in their
bag.
cars.
Yeah.
Nissan took it all out.
Yeah.
Have you guys noticed that the GTRs are many times half the mileage of Supra RZs?
Supras often
No.
are higher mileage,
Yeah.
but GTRs can be higher mileage too. I wouldn't say half the mileage. I think on average, probably a Supra is a little bit higher mileage, but maybe it comes down to the type of owner. The Supra is more of a GT car and less of a sports car. So maybe longer trips are more common in the Supras.
It's the same thing with GTOs. You often see them with higher mileage, and I, for one, don't understand how they lasted that long. I would have expected
with
them
broken
to die
power
before.
windows for half the time.
Okay,
but that is an interesting take. I would like to maybe look into that more.
And now last question. What do you think about the
new Prelude?
Yes.
Really? That's the question?
That's the question.
I've been wanting to talk about this so much.
We have been complaining about the Prelude.
I just read this morning that owners or maybe reviewers, I don't know if any have been delivered yet, they're complaining because the 0 to 60 miles an hour or 0 to 100 kilometers an hour is 9 seconds.
In today's day and age, for a sports car, GT car.
It is slower than a base model Corolla.
It is slower than the Civic non-Type R I had in 20...
Yeah.
20...
Honda, what are you doing? So I disparage Nissan a lot because I think that they've gone downhill from an epic company that they used to be.
A fall from grace.
And I'm going to say it again, sure, they have to stay in business, yada, yada, yada. Honda, Jesus Christ.
You know better, Honda. You just released the FL5, and now you hit us with the Prelude?
The Prelude looks dumb, awful, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The Prelude is not inspiring performance-wise. The Prelude has a huge following. Those idiots did the same thing with the Integra. Oh, let's make a new Integra. It isn't anything that the old Integras used to be, and the old Integras were iconic. Why do you keep doing this? This is the automotive version of Disney remaking all of their movies, and we're sick of it. We don't want a new Prelude. We do. We just want...
We want the one that it should be like, at least in essence and in spirit.
Remember that Hyundai that came out that looked all 80s and crazy? It was like 5 years ago or something like that. Take Hyundai for inspiration. Don't make the exact same car as that. Make a notchback Prelude that kind of has that essence. Don't really make it retro styled, but we want the car to be as low of a body shape as possible. And this car is like jacked up an extra 50%. A nice low hood, a nice low trunk, and a very strong three-box design.
The knees don't bend that way. They are marketing to people who are above your age range.
Yeah, you make a Prelude like the old ones and no one's buying it. I get it, but I'm still sad. This isn't going to change anything.
We saw the Prelude get announced.
Can we put it on the screen?
All of us collectively were like...
and then when we found out it's a hybrid engine...
And then I read a news article...
Honda can't even make a good hybrid engine. Sorry, guys.
I read a news article a couple weeks later or something. They're like, demand for the Prelude is extreme, and Japanese dealers have had to stop pre-orders at certain locations because of the popularity far exceeded their production estimate.
Notice how almost every picture here is the car at the same angle. And that's because that's the angle that the designer designed the car at and then didn't care about the other angles. So there's one angle from the front and one angle from the back that looks good.
That looks awful, though.
And then,
to me,
well, that's the angle of the back that looks good. So if you think that one looks awful, then look at the side profile. It is such a weird looking car.
I think, like,
there was one up there.
The GR86 came out, and I was like, holy cow! It is way more beautiful than its market position. It looks incredible. It looks like a mini Aston Martin. This looks like the new Alpine.
Look at how...
If you threw it against a wall and then tried to recreate it from the smashed pieces.
Okay, hot take. It looks like a car from Pixar's Cars.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because the shape here is like, oh, we need to raise this so that we can make the eyes look good.
The front end being so short, too. Like, so the Prelude was always rear-wheel drive proportioned in a front-wheel drive package. Right? It always had a long front in every generation of it. And then this one, look at the front wheel and look at how much space it has before you get to the top of the hood. It's so tall. It's almost like proportioned like the new Crown is. But the Crown is a sedan, like a stately sedan, not supposed to be sporty in any way.
It's chungus.
Yeah.
Bad question, whoever asked this one. I don't want to think about this car.
No, I'm glad you asked.
That's funny that you knew that we were going to be talking about that.
It's because I felt like I wanted to weave it into something else we were talking about. I didn't see the question. It disappoints me so much that this is what we get.
Yeah.
And
a slow engine.
We're not the ones that are buying new cars, so why would they try to make a car that we would want? I understand.
Look at that picture with the Prelude and the first gen Prelude, which you said you don't like the look of the first gen Prelude. It's odd.
I don't know. Can I see?
Right. But look at the size difference between the two of them.
You can fit two. I don't know. That's it's got a funky old vibe. I can't see the back, but
it is. It's not beautiful by any meaning.
Yeah, it's like, not something that I'm like, oh yes, that's amazing.
The 3rd, 4th, and 5th generation Preludes are all good looking. The 1st and 2nd are a little bit weird.
I think I grew up with the 3rd, 4th era. Like,
yeah, the Preludes always like people hold these cars dear, and they feel like they have some ownership of the car. Right? It's like, that's my car. I had one when I was younger. And for them to ruin something that they held dearly, it sucks.
Yeah. I think Honda needs to take a note out of Toyota's book with the GR86 and the GR Corolla.
This could be a competitor for the Nissan S16. But instead they were like, no, let's just sell it to over 55-year-old people.
The competitor for this would probably be the new Prius, which is way faster, looks way better.
The
and
new
has more
Prius
space.
is,
Yeah, the new Prius is faster. It's decently fast.
And it looks sick. And that's a Prius.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you bring a Prelude to me and you say, well, we're competing with your Prius and it doesn't quite look as good. I'm like, go away. Leave me alone, Honda.
Yeah.
Give me the FL5.
Like, you drive a Honda and I drive a Honda, so we are the Honda people.
I want to like the new Prelude, but there is nothing about it that makes me like it at all.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Good last words for this show that was about the R34.
And Greg is right. The CRZ did sully the CRX name, but it didn't have to. If they dropped a K20 in it, people would love it.
Yeah.
The looks are not the problem with the car, even though it could have looked better.
Yep. Well, thank you all for tuning in. I'm sorry that we made you throw up right at the end there. You may wish to go to the bathroom and clean yourself off after that experience with Prelude. Very sorry, but hope you enjoyed the rest of the show. Jam-packed full of interesting information about the R34.
Right, and we will be back again next week, so you can catch us then, me and Mike and Max, talking about car things and Japan things. Thank you for tuning in, and see you again next time.
See you.
Bye-bye.